Yeah.
And our bin doors, was the side door, and they had these little hooks on the side that kind of close with the door.
Right. Yeah.
And we keep paint on the truck.
Oh, okay.
So I close the bin, and right before it closes, I see it's gonna hit one of the paint cans.
Right.
So I tried to stop it.
Oh, no.
I failed. It punctures the paint can. I get flamer blasted by gray paint
Oh God.
all over. I took a blast all over my face.
Yeah. Not the first time you've ever said that, I'm sure.
Nor the last. And so I look, and of course this is all gray.
Yeah.
Arms have some gray on it,
Right.
but my face it's almost like I was wearing blackface.
Nice.
Except
Bravo.
for this part. Did I leave a water bottle over there?
Nice. So
So at about noon I went to go take a shower, and the towels we have are not the softest. They're very coarse, and I'm scrubbing my face,
Face
and I'm
really
like, oh
hurt.
fuck, it hurts. Oh god damn it. It's fucking yeah. So yeah.
should have said bar fight.
No. No. It's just it's a better story, but I had a can of paint explode
In your face.
in my face. Oh my god, I couldn't even breathe for like a half minute.
Oh,
I
man.
didn't dare take a breath.
Right, yeah, that's a lot of fumes.
I don't huff normally, and I wasn't gonna start.
Oh man, you should be like, I'm having a hard day. I just quit huffing paint.
And then the whole side of the truck was not the whole side. Parts of it was gray, and we have another chemical thing that it takes.
Just
the
right,
paint off.
yeah.
But I wasn't gonna use it on the face.
That's probably a good idea. Just saying.
Interrupting Rick and Morty time.
Yeah.
What the hell's a Rick and Morty?
You don't know what Rick and Morty is?
No, I know Rick and Morty.
You
is.
better know. Rick and
I was gonna
Morty.
say.
Old man over
Yeah.
there.
With your love of memes, how do you not?
I know Rick and
Like
Morty.
that's like 80% of memes now.
I just never watched it.
Really?
It's a really good
I didn't
show.
watch it until very recently.
It's such a
really
good
Oh,
show.
we're starting or no?
Yeah, we're starting.
Official start?
We've
Yeah,
been
sure.
live.
No, we've been. I told him just to go live, just
Yeah.
for.
Right.
No, we got a minute.
Whatever.
We can be early.
You
We can
can
be
even
early.
do the countdown.
No, we're super professional over here.
Oh god.
Damn.
As long as it's my stream to run, this is how it's going to go.
As long as it's
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Oh, it makes us different than anybody else.
Sure.
Yeah, those who are professional and plan ahead. And,
I don't think anybody who does anything 40K is professional. I mean,
There's a semblance.
I've watched Frontline Gaming streams.
That's fair.
Don't even get me started on anything associated with the Spiky Biz streams.
They have a stream. I don't even.
Yeah.
They don't do streams, but they do videos,
Oh.
which are they're fine. Whatever.
The paint
Anyway.
videos are actually helpful.
Should we actually say hello? Hello, everyone.
14.
Oh my god. So we're really just not gonna.
Yeah. What?
We're just gonna sit
We
here.
need content.
We got.
Long
true, I have not been writing.
First time caller.
Yeah.
Nice, very cool table
Yeah.
noob.
I figure we'll pick up after LVO. So.
Yeah. Well, I just with my work schedule right now, like the past 8 weeks, I have not had any time to write anything. I haven't been writing for Frontline. I haven't been writing
Yeah.
for us. I haven't
What
been
about
doing my
for
own
Black
writing.
Library?
I know. I haven't even had time to work on my submission again. Right. Every time Black Library does their stupid open call, I make it to the very last round and just wait weeks upon weeks of like, oh, we're reviewing it. Okay, you've been moved forward to the next step. Do this, and I get to the end. They're just like,
No.
and no, yeah, and you know
Oh,
what?
sorry,
It always, you know
you're
what it
not
always-
British.
Yeah.
My bad.
Well, that's the thing. They even now put it very
Change your
specifically. You
last
have
name.
you have to write in
Oh,
British
yeah, you did
English.
say
They actually
that.
made it clear now
Yes.
you have to write in British English.
to
So
say
now
that.
whenever
I
I
don't know
write
what that
something,
is.
I have to sit back and think of like, God damn it! Now I have to translate this into the other English.
Isn't there
That's
a Google
infuriating.
Translate for that or something?
I don't think
That
so.
would be
That would be
funny if it
amazing.
is.
I just have to remember to put the U in places like armor, right?
Color.
Yeah.
Don't they have editors to do that? Come on.
Yeah.
All
Well.
right. I guess we can start now.
All right.
All right, we start.
I'm
Since
just,
we already
I'm just doing a C Jane run, C Dick run type of book for Black Library.
Nice.
CJ run.
Yeah.
Sure.
See Celestine
Celestine
Purge.
See,
See your Purge heretics.
watch
Purge Celestine
Watch
Purge.
Armored Book Lady Purge.
Hey everybody! As you can tell, Adam here with Danny once again and John.
Hey.
Over there
Hello.
putting custodes together.
That's right, Custodes. Everybody laughed at me 4 weeks ago when I was doing this on stream.
Yeah.
Who's,
Well,
laugh-
custodes or
who's laughing now, bitches?
Custodes.
Yeah, I was building these
I don't even
a
remember.
couple streams ago.
Weren't you
Everybody-
building the Dreadnought?
Yeah, I did that too. The
There you
Dread
go.
Knight.
Dread Knight.
Oh, Dread Knight.
So you're gonna do Custo? Are you gonna go do Custodes and Dread Knights together?
No, I'm just gonna do
Sure.
Custodes.
That'd be awesome.
I'm just gonna go all gold and red.
All golden
I'm gonna
red.
get those bikes.
The bikes look good.
Brent Byrne 88. Have you ever been backpacking and hiking? Yes.
Yes.
Where's this going, Brent?
I know, right? Like, yeah.
That's not very nice, Ray.
Yeah.
No.
Search the Great Trail. What the fuck's
Uh-oh.
going on around here?
I'm not gonna do that on the air.
Yeah.
I'll do it off air.
Yeah.
Just in
yeah.
case. I'm doing it in the privacy of my own home.
Yeah.
Search the Great Trail.
Yeah.
But
That sounds like they could go interesting places. I'm just being honest.
I'm not quite sure what the euphemism is we're going for, but
I'm
I'm
intrigued.
not comfortable with it.
No, I'm intrigued. I don't know about you. I just need to do that in my own private time.
is the 10 play crawler, 2 demon prints list real?
Yes.
As in, have we seen it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Don's bringing something. He's bringing a bunch of play crawlers. I know Paul has a number of them with Mortarion, though, and
he's-
Poxwalkers.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's probably the better.
You're probably going to see a lot of the play crawlers, though.
Yeah. I would plan on doing. Yeah.
Is that the Pacific Crest Trail you're talking about? The one that goes from like Mexico to Canada?
Are we still talking about that?
I don't know. And
Well, I like hiking. This is curious. I'm just curious, right? Like I do go back
Ray
hiking all the
thinks that
time.
list sounds like an easy win.
You know what? Everything has disgustingly resilient.
That's the key. That helps.
So, good luck.
I think it's a spoiler army, right? It's like any skew. It's going to do really well against a lot of armies, but against a really competent player with a well-balanced, well-tuned list, it's probably not going to win.
So someplace like the LVO, you'll do good. You'll
Yeah,
do
it's
well rounds 1
it's
through
a-
4, maybe.
It's a 5-1, 4-2 army, right? Depending
Yeah.
on your matchups. You might get into the top 8 by just
Luck.
kind of just
of
never
the draw.
getting the matchups
Luck of the draw,
that
yeah.
could really kill you, especially with 500 players damn
Yes.
near, right? Like you're going to get. We saw this last LVO.
Yes, we did
You're
see
going to
last
get
LVO.
guys who really don't belong in the top 8, and that's no disrespect to them. It's just
What
these
are
are
you
guys.
doing here?
Yeah, they're just guys that never played any of the top people,
Yeah.
right? Like they didn't. They had a kind of easy road to victory.
Yep. There were 2 last year like that.
Yeah, and
I'm not
that's-
gonna name any names, but there were
Yeah.
definitely 2 in the top 8 last year where I walked up to the tables and was like, okay, I've never seen these guys' names before.
Right.
And then I walked over to like the area where we were talking about it, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
with the bigger, and we've talked about this before on podcasts and articles, that just the more players you have, right, just the more likelihood you're going to get just kind of a deviation where
Yeah.
someone just gets a lot of lucky draws. They never get the bad matchup for their
Right.
skew, right? Or they never even run into one of like the super top players because they just keep getting the lucky draws of like, oh, here's another guy who's just managed to get good matchups and,
Yep.
you know, is not one of the usual 20-some people we tend to expect in the top 8, right?
I was talking about that with somebody who's like a Drukari main.
Right.
Like that's and by main I don't mean like, oh, they have like 667 points, so
Yeah.
that's their like they want to run almost pure Drukari.
Right.
Right.
And I'm like, I mean, with 500 players, it's possible you just never meet your rock,
Yep.
but I wouldn't bank on it.
No.
So
But I kind of like the play crawler list just because it's I don't know, it's I could see it as a good list to take if you're really starting to jump into highly competitive 40K because it's not that many models to manage. It's a little forgiving in terms of it can take damage if you misplay a little bit. But because you still have a relatively small footprint on the board,
right,
you know, I mean, that's really the issue. You know, I mean, that's really kind of the big issue is that you just don't have the chaff. And I'm a big believer that 8th edition is the chaff edition, right?
Right.
If you
Yeah.
can't bring 60, 90 bodies for dirt cheap,
Just chaff,
you're gonna
yeah.
you're gonna struggle, right? You just need to. You know.
who's HK Fui?
Hong Kong Fooey? I don't know. I like the reference, but
Bring
Yeah.
your Custodes LVO, I'll whoop you again, kid. I mean, I'm sure that you've beaten me. I'm not questioning that. I just want to know who it is.
yeah. And Ray's right. Submarining and dodging matches is definitely a skill. That is
that's a real thing.
If you can do that, if you know how to control that and
Yeah,
control
that's-
your matchups, I mean, that was the same thing in Warmachine.
yeah, that's
right?
been
Like,
a
it was all
skill
about-
for a long time.
Yeah, submarining's always been a thing, especially when painting and sportsmanship were parts of the school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
but
that
but I think
The dark days.
the risk you take with when
Yes.
trying to submarine, I think Jeff talked about it or someone else did, where if you try, you may end up losing.
Oh yeah, right. You get a couple of unlucky rolls that go against you, and since you're trying to
And
ride the
suddenly
line,
you're like, oh damn, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because with the numbers that we're seeing now with this year's LVO, you're gonna basically you have to go undefeated. Where before you can get a draw and still make it in the top
Yeah,
eight.
no.
Yeah. No, you go undefeated, and
No.
really depending how it goes. I mean, you have to not just go undefeated. You might have to go
Big.
well.
Some
undefeated,
solid
right?
wins,
Yeah. You can't just be doing like, oh, I won like 21-14. I won 20.
Although
to
with drops,
15.
you might be able to.
Yeah, I mean that's
with drops and
always-
draw, you may still be able to go with a draw and still get in, but I think you're going to be number 8 in a 3-way tie with like a
Oh
bunch of other
god,
people.
and then we have to do.
It's straight the
SOS.
schedule.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
the system has
system
it now,
has
so
it.
it's
Oh,
already
thank
built in.
Christ!
Because we did it that one year.
The first year we judged.
First year we judged, and then we had to do. We had to, Travis had to do the math.
Yeah,
I wasn't there that year.
No, so it was a good year.
Yeah. I think our best year.
Stuck with me this year.
Yeah.
But speaking of tournaments, we had one this past weekend.
How was it?
26 players.
Okay,
Cool.
good showing. Good showing.
LVO prep. It's a good show.
It's LVO prep, so we had a lot of LVO lists. We actually went with the foreshadowed amendment to the Demon
Code,
Deep Strike
yeah.
stratagem.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody, unfortunately for Aaron Hayden, there was no Deep Strike Immortarion or Magnus.
Oh, did he show up wanting to do it?
He wanted to do it, but
Yeah. Chad said, yeah, he was
Chad,
going to go with what the
Chad
rulings
said we're going to
rumored.
go with the rumors because it seems like right now, even though we're getting close, we're only a week away,
Yeah.
but it looks like, I mean, if it's going to come out, it's probably going to come out this weekend.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm hoping because I'm tired of telling everybody about it and
Right.
then it not happen.
Sword custodes or spear custodes?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I have enough to do squads of each,
Can
but
you
what do
magnetize?
you think is
Can-
going to be better? I'm not
Uh,
magnetizing the scrap. What are you kidding?
I would do a squad of each. I think you want because especially with that stratagem we saw where you can break up a unit into individuals.
But
Have
that's
you
the
seen it?
Terminators.
Oh, that's only a Terminator.
Yeah, it's
Damn.
only the
Can they
Terminators.
take storm shields? Because I feel like that's the perfect thing for your
I'm gonna
objective
look at
control.
that, yeah.
Because then you want storm shields
Yeah.
to make them just annoying
Yeah,
as
I'm
hell.
definitely going to do those.
I would go spears because they look cool.
Yes, the spears do look awesome.
cool.
All the ones I built, I think, had spears. I had a couple of shield guys just
I'll
for
do
tanking wounds.
I'll do spears then on this one.
Yeah,
That
I
was
took Black Legion, but with 2 units of Corn Berserkers in Dreadclaws.
Hey,
So I don't have to walk them across the board.
No,
Good old
Jeff, I'm
Draculaus.
not doing any goddamn magnets. Not on these. It's too much work.
John's not only salty, can be a little lazy.
Sometimes. Sometimes. When it comes to magnetizing things.
It's
I
true.
can
Well,
definitely
I
deal with
don't
it.
magnetize because I suck at it and it always looks bad. So.
That's fair.
It depends. I magnetize very rarely. And by rarely, I mean almost never.
Yeah. So yeah, how did the
So-
Dreadclaws of Berserkers do?
It went 1 and 2. Unfortunately, first one was against Josue and his Gilliman,
Gunline.
kind of a gun line. He brought Razorbacks, Gilliman,
Dreadnought.
2.
Yeah, that's the
Sicarans.
list he had at. Oh, Sicarans. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
different than the list he had at Hammer of Wrath.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And then he brought
Oh, yeah, it's post chapter approved.
Yeah, so he brought a Calidus and a Calexis.
That's
Ooh,
interesting.
that's-
Why don't
No,
you tell us
Calus
about
is
that?
good.
So
Good choice.
I was talking with a bunch. Who was I talking with before? I think I was talking to Darian about the Calidus because with now in about a month or two we'll have about 13, 14 codexes out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are command point heavy.
Yeah.
As a result, the Calidus, which I think is like 85, 86 points,
No, she's,
might actually be worth it. She's sub 100.
Oh yeah, no, I think she's one of the
Um,
cheaper ones because the Vindicare is 90. And I think he's the most expensive.
Yeah.
Right?
The Calidus has an ability where during the first term of the game, when your opponent uses a stratagem, you roll a die. On a 4+, they have to pay an extra command point to use that stratagem. If they decide not to use it, they still lose those command points.
Right.
And she does not have to be on the table for that ability to be used.
Right. So it doesn't affect the pre-game stuff like the
No.
deployment, but just a lot of armies kind of rely on that. Like, oh, here's my quick, CP heavy combo.
Yes.
Right, and she shuts that down pretty hard just because if they get good rolls, that's
She's
that
looking
all of a
good
sudden
for
you're
80, Jeff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she looks great for 80, man. Like she
Yeah, so
she
I'm-
clearly moisturizes.
So I don't know if...
I like it.
I almost think that would
Airproof.
probably be more better to take than the Calexis.
I don't know. I mean, I think you still. I think there's enough
Yeah, I
psychic
mean, you could.
stuff out
I
there.
mean-
Still, a Calexis is helpful.
Well, with Smite getting harder to cast and
Yeah.
easier to deny.
I
Yeah,
can
it's
see
still
the
there,
scales
though.
tipping the other direction because CP denial is a thing.
Yes.
Like that's
And it's,
when
and it's
Josue
rare.
did it, I had to spend an extra 3 command points to do my stuff,
right,
and that's out of 9.
Damn.
right.
So I only had like 3 or 4 command points left.
I mean,
after
think
turn
about
one.
if somebody had used that against me when I ran Gilliam and Gunline at BAO, I'd been screwed.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of armies that just rely on a first turn big rush of CPs, and they blow through most of their CPs to get some kind of crazy combo off, right?
Alpha Legion.
Yeah, Alpha
Yeah.
Legion. So I mean, I was always a big fan of the Caldas when I was
Yeah.
I mean, even Tyranids to an extent, if they're doing like the drop and shoot or double fighting Gene Stealers sent in turn 1 by Swarmlord, right? Like that's all CP heavy stuff. Chaos in general. Right, like it's I think it's worth it. I still like her abilities for just kind of getting in the backfield and causing havoc. You have to deal with her.
Yeah, because
ignore
when
invulnerable saves is cool.
her close combat weapons ignores invulnerable saves, and her deep strike is D6 plus 3 inches away from an enemy model.
Yeah, so she can get charges right out if you roll well. Your double mic picking up. How about now?
Try that. Yeah.
So
okay.
if you could fit both, I would do like what Sway did and take both. But I would probably pick the Calais for right now.
Yeah, although the Calexis is still, I don't know. I still think there's enough smite and there's enough ranged of psychic damage dealing that it's helpful to have. It's helpful to have
for
it.
me, in the Imperial armies I'm running, or I plan to run, then it seems that I probably would benefit more from the Calidus because the Death Watch are basically an index army.
Oh yeah,
They're gonna get hurt by
everything.
everything anyway. So I might as well, if he's gonna spend those CPs, they're gonna make him spend those CPs.
No, that's fair.
It's kind of a cool idea that I saw for Death Watch to take Death Watch with the Custodes with the banner that gives everybody the
Oh
5
yeah,
up
I saw
invul.
that.
Yeah, Carlos mentioned that.
Oh, was it Carlos that mentioned
Yeah.
that? Okay.
It's a good idea. I really look when I was playing with Agents of the Imperium lists. Like I definitely went with Calidus over Calexis because I also had Sisters of Silence who do the same thing as a Calexis more or less.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Like, but I really like the Calidus.
Man,
I-
if Sisters of Silence got a book, that'd be a good pairing.
Well, who knows?
You're
I mean, they
saying
made
Plastic
plastics for
Sisters?
them.
I'm not saying Plastic Sisters.
Plastic
Yeah.
Sisters confirmed. Salty John.
No. Don't. Just because I predicted Custodes correctly doesn't mean anything.
Well, I think it's pretty easy to tell if they make plastic sprues for something that they're going to invest in that because that's a waste of their resources to build
Yeah.
to
Sure.
get a full, mold for a plastic kit that they're not going to consider, using in some realistic way.
Probably
Right,
should have
'cause-
looked up the directions for these.
Yeah, they're annoying to build, especially the spears and the arms and the positioning. Have
I'm
fun.
sure it'll be fine.
Whatever. I do what I want.
I'll buy them off of you when you put them up for trade because they're
Yeah.
put together.
Yeah, how were the ones I gave you?
They're still in the box in the car.
Okay, good. I figured those ones were pretty crappily built.
Swooping in on models that were promised to me.
It was a birthday gift.
fine.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Christmas gift, man.
Whatever.
It's fine.
I'll sell them to you.
I'm not salty. It's fine.
I might have more. I don't know.
Cheap.
I only
It's fine,
found
it's totally
10.
fine.
I'm sure I have 5 more somewhere.
What the hell is this?
So it's that plus I have a Fire Raptor
Okay.
and some other demons and cultists and obliterators and all that good stuff.
Fire Raptor always good.
Yeah, it did okay. It did okay in my game with Josue because I used it to block off the only way he could drive forward
Nice.
between 2 large buildings. It exploded, of course, because that's what they do. And then I used the command point to re-roll the explosion and
Mhm.
killed off the Emperor's Champion because he had an Emperor's Champion for some reason. And put wounds on rhinos. Actually used the demon stratagem for the 2d3 mortal wounds on perils
Oh, nice.
to kill off Tigerius.
Cool. Not bad.
So that one,
you won.
that one actually won. It was actually fairly close. It was only by it was like 18-14 or something. Like that.
Okay.
Like a low win. So I ended up playing Carlos second game.
Oh, fun.
I was able to go first, and he was playing demons. I was able to go first, but he seized, wrecked the Fire Raptor with Warp Talons. Warp Talons got wrecked by my cultists.
I said he was playing demons.
He was.
He's got warp talents?
Demons with whatever.
With CSM.
They're demons.
Chaos.
So
whatever.
he's playing soup.
They have the demon keyword.
He was playing, I think.
But do they have the demon faction keyword?
They do not. Warp Talons do not. Obliterators do.
Dun, dun, dun. What else does, Adam?
Lord of Skulls have that.
Yeah,
So if-
baby. King of beers, baby. King of beers.
If the FAQ comes out and they happen to mention that that particular deep strike stratagem is only for demon faction keyword, you can still deep strike the Lord of Skulls.
Yikes.
Which means
Well,
we-
it depends on how they word it. They might just word it things from this book.
Yeah, if they do that, then yeah. If they do just do demon faction,
So
then,
you're saying I need to convert a Lord of Skulls now?
convert. How about you just build the actual model?
Danny can't do that.
Yeah.
I know, but you
Goes
guys
against,
just
like,
trying
his
to
very
steer
being.
him that way.
I'm trying to make use of the resources I have, man.
Oh my
I'm on a
God.
budget. All right.
Well, mine is half built. I've got the bottom half built. Just got to do the torso part.
Are you gonna put little beer cozies on his butt?
I haven't
Yes.
decided yet.
Beer koozies, for sure.
Like I said, I really wanted to get one of those models just to mod out the butt, so I could just put my own little like mini keg there,
Nice.
right, and just use it to fill me up during between rounds or during rounds, really.
It's an awful lot of
Since this is
euphemisms.
LA, there's a lot of people that
Awful lot of euphemisms there.
mod out the butt.
Yeah, that's true,
Filling it up.
and God bless them
Yep.
for it.
Yes.
Those people are heroes.
Good lord.
Let's say they're liars. That's what they are.
Were we sure we put the adult warning on this one?
It should be. I always put it on.
Anyway, so who ended up winning the tournament?
Oh, Carlos ended up winning that game.
Yeah.
Because he was able to spread out his army before I could come in. So it limited where I could land, and he was
Right.
able to isolate my units and kill them. But that was still kind of, well, actually, it wasn't that close. It was like 25 to like 14 or something.
Yeah, that's not that close.
No.
Excuse me. Last game was Alan.
Hernandez,
Yes.
he actually showed up.
He actually showed up.
Good for him.
He had Eldar.
Did he stay the whole time?
He stayed the whole time.
Well, it's
Alright.
game 3.
even after, yeah, this is game 3.
Oh, that's right.
Even
I missed
after
that
going 1-on-1, he lost to Brandon in the second game.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Grant, who brought Blood Angels and Dark Angels.
Okay.
He did have a chance to win, but Brandon kept on making all the saves. Speaking of saves, I was making a bunch of good rolls with these dice I bought from the store because I forgot my normal dice.
Right.
They were so good, Carlos just started using my dice without asking me.
No.
Which kind of put me off because I'm kind of the player that doesn't like other people touching my dice.
Good to know. Good to know.
But eventually, he eventually bought my dice.
Wow.
Seriously?
That's how good they rolled.
That's awesome. And did they immediately turn cold on him?
No, well, it wasn't the dice the reason that he lost his third game to the winner of the tournament.
Just wait for the Oculus Deep Strikes. Yeah.
Yeah. Custo Dreads will get 40k
Yes,
rules.
because I have 2 of those.
Yeah, they've already said Forge World is going to have all the units from that the custodians
Like
have.
the one with the blasters
Time to get
and
some
all
grab
that.
tanks.
Nice.
The ones I have.
And the dick bikes.
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously. Well, obviously. I have the Dread with the sword and shield, and I
Yeah.
have the Dread with the spear.
Nice.
I lost a piece.
No,
So
you don't need it. It's fine. Might have been the hit. It's okay.
so we played
Arm I need. Oh, there it is.
we played on a board that was more to his advantage because it was easier for him to hide his Dark Reapers.
Mm-hmm.
To move them up, shoot, and then spend a command point for them to hide or move back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more or less what happened in the game, where he would kill a couple things. I was leading early on, and then Alan pulled it out in the end. Alan's already said this in our chat, where his army takes a while to kind of like build up. So if the game ends early due to time, he's kind of screwed. But we went the full 6 turns, which was an advantage to him, and that's kind of why he was able.
How does
to
his army
win.
take a time to build up?
Because he
As it gets killed off.
puts his Falcons in reserve,
Oh, okay.
Mm.
and they don't come in until turn 3.
Right. Okay.
And he takes recon, so he deep strikes in your deployment zone.
Sure. Okay.
And that's his 2 units.
Mhm.
And so turns 3 through 6, he's earning those points. But if it ends on turn 3 or 4, he's kind of screwed.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Why are you scared, Alan? Sorry. Just that pop on the chat.
Um,
Scared of OVO?
Sure. Yeah, so he said that and that's why he also said when he plays against elite armies, he has no trouble killing those units, but as he mentioned in our chat, he had issues trying to kill my cultists.
Right.
Right.
Again,
Because there's too many.
There's too many, and plus he got the larger unit down to the 30-man unit down to 10, and then I just spent 2 command points and brought them all back.
Yeah.
I actually did that.
I forgot about that.
I actually did that, I think, in all 3 of my games.
Well, yeah, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
They got down to like, I lost like 15 guys, lost another like 9, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'll
If you're playing Alpha Legion, it's like that's what you say.
Well, it's not even Alpha Legion.
You
It's
play
just
Chaos.
Cult
Oh yeah,
Chaos
just
in
playing
general.
Chaos in general. If you're playing Chaos in general, and you save the points for that, just like people who play Gilliman save the points to res.
Yeah. You
Like,
save 1
you
CP
save
for that
those
reroll.
CPs for
Yeah.
that because you need it.
Yeah.
Period. End of
So
story.
I ended up going basically 1 and 3. Fire Raptor, there's a reason you take 2 of them, but I'm not going to buy another Fire Raptor because they're probably going to
I
adjust.
thought
the
you
points
had
back.
to.
I only had 1.
I'm sure you could borrow one if you really needed to.
I could have sworn you had to.
I have a Xiphon Interceptor.
Hey,
That's what I'm
now?
thinking of. Yeah, that's what I was
No,
thinking
it
of.
doesn't.
The stupid thing with the bombs.
That one is actually might be pretty good, but I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I don't know if they adjust the points back. I don't. For all of the internet griping, I don't think
You don't think they will?
that the Fire Raptor is that crazy OP. I think I have the wrong arm again. God damn it.
I think it's okay. I don't think 1. 2 is probably pushing it, but if like at a recent event, if you have 4, I don't know if you heard Danny where it was 4 in Gilliman, and then some Tempestus leaders just to
Just guys.
not get tabled.
Okay, yeah, just to hide.
This was at Hammer in the New Year GT back east,
Okay.
where Sean Naden won with an Eldar list that had no Dark Reapers.
My God.
It's because of Sean Naden.
Yeah, I was going to
True.
say.
I
Sean
think we were
Naden
having
can win
this
with a lot
discussion
of
earlier,
things.
right? Adam?
Huh?
We were having this discussion earlier, right?
Yes, that his list kind of looks kind of hodgepodge, but it is Sean Naden. So
Right.
Well, he always develops kind of interesting lists anyway, and again, he's good at the game, like immensely good. So you can get away with that, right? Because
yeah, and the winning list was Tyranids. I don't really know how it works, to be honest, but it has a lot of the spores.
was this Jeff's list?
No, this was Andrew.
Oh, Andrew. Okay.
Andrew likes the spore mines and the mucilid spores. And
Because they're really, I mean, they're really, really good at stopping your opponent from moving, right? Because they blow up at the end of the charge phase, right? Not combat.
Yes.
So they really can protect where you're going. They do fly, so they can actually go after flyers if they're not careful with their movement, right? Which is pretty fun for putting mortal wounds on flyers. They shut down smite because they're the closest models.
Yeah.
And
they don't give up any victory points.
Yep. You don't
Which
get anything for nothing.
includes ITC points.
Yes, they count for nothing. So it's a great way to kind of flood the board with things that get
If you
your
make one
opponent's
your
way.
warlord.
You could do that. People have been talking about that in the Tyranid boards. Since,
No, I just came up with it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yes,
But it's just,
John,
yeah.
You just came up with making a spore your warlord, but then you'd have to have no characters, right?
I have no idea.
I don't know I forget what the warlord was.
Yeah.
I think you still need to pick a character.
I think you just have to pick a character if there is one, and if there isn't, you get to
then
go
you
down.
can pick a spore mine.
Yeah, which you really can't do. But spore mines are great. Biobores are great because they make more spore mines. Spore cysts are actually great because they make both, although
Yeah.
they're a little too short ranged. I would have liked to see them just a little, not 9-inch range on their gun.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. He's more... After the tournament, he's more than happy to talk about his list. To which Carlos, the whole time, he's like, you need to stop talking about your list.
Right. You need to stop right now.
Because he was talking to Brandon Grant about it.
Right. I mean, it's
Stop telling the best 40k player in the world how you do beat
Or
your
one
army.
of the best.
Yeah.
Well, the best.
Yeah,
debatable.
that's
One of, but yeah.
Yeah, so
it's a, I mean, it's a
it was funny. He was just excited because he won, and
Of course,
and
of
his
course.
list is unique. I'll
Right.
give him that. But do you know anything about Jeff's list?
I know it's a Kronos Brigade, 2,000
With Jeff who?
points.
Robinson.
Jeff
It's
Robinson.
the
In
list he's
control.
taking to LVL.
Was he at the tournament?
No. He,
Oh, okay.
Alan's just asking if
Oh,
Alan.
I saw it, yeah. I mean, I can if you want briefly. I think it's a good list.
That was more or less the tournament. 26 players. I went 1 and 2. Played against 2 top players. That's my excuse. I'm sticking with it.
It's a good excuse.
And then
approve.
Tyranids won the tournament.
Good for Tyranids.
Brandon Grant came in second with his Blood Angels, Dark Angels, and Eldar came in third.
Again, which some people on the internet were like, what kind of combo was it? And I'm like, guys, it's Brandon.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
you can try to copy that list if you want to, but
Any model can be your warlord.
And
Not
thank you,
characters.
Actus
Not
and
characters.
Entropy.
Yeah.
John's been doing the modeling while we stream for a while now.
Yeah.
Because he likes watching you model while
okay.
It's helpful. You know,
I turned the camera off while I derped around, not knowing what I'm doing.
That's when you should have it on.
Yeah, I know, right? That's
What's the
a
point of
comedy.
that?
Next time, maybe I'll
Because then
actually.
if I ever want to sell these models, somebody might watch the stream and be like, that's jank.
Trust me. They
No
don't
one's
need to
gonna-
see- They don't need to see the stream to know if the model's jank.
Excuse me, I sell my armies for quite a bit.
Unless you take some creative pictures.
Yeah.
So go ahead. What was
With
his-
Jeff.
what was
So
his,
from
his-
memory, it's Swarmlord, Turvagon, I think a couple Nernthropes, and then 4 times the minimum Rippers, and then 2 full units of standard Gaunts, of Termagants. A big unit of 6 Hive Guard, I think 2 small units of Hide Guard, Mucilid Spores for fast attack, 3 Biovores, 1 each for heavy support.
Okay.
And so it's Chronos, so everything rerolls 1s if it stays still in shooting phase. But it's definitely, Hive Guard are scary as hell. They shoot really, really well, especially in Chronos. They can stay out of LOS. They're pretty durable, so they're pretty resistant to a lot of other ignores LOS shooting.
Mm-hmm.
But they're strength 8, multiple damage, right?
Okay.
-2 AP. And they can shoot twice with the Tyranid Stratagem. And since he has 12 CPs, right, that you can get them to shoot twice actually pretty consistently. With, again, the 60 Gaunts are there as bubble wrap, right, with the Turvagon healing them. So you have to make decisions. Do you waste firepower on the Turvagon? Do you waste firepower on the Swarmlord? And I think the Swarmlord is really there for counter assault. It's just because he doesn't really have an assault unit there. But even late game, getting a unit to be able to move twice can, especially a big unit of Gaunts, can really help you take an objective and keep it.
Okay.
Right, because you're probably not expecting, Termagants to fly 17, 15 inches across the
People
board in a
aren't
turn, So I think it's a good list. Again, for me, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of a Turvagon outside of Hydra, where you can give them the -1 to hit modification. Right, so now they're -1 to hit, and you get a Malanthrope, so they're -2 to hit,
right.
and they're just super annoying to bring down. Then when you're -2, they're T8, 14 wounds or whatever. And the Swarmlord again. Swarmlord's a good counter assault unit. It's probably the best one as a self-contained, but I think the Turvagon could probably be turned into something else. But then again, Jeff Robinson's a better player than me, so that's what it is.
Yeah,
right?
they're asking about that list because he won a GT recently in Arizona. With
Yeah, I could see it winning. It's got, for me, the big things. It's got CPs. It's got really high powered shooting that's hard to get at, and it's got chaff, especially chaff he can
And
heal.
It's got a good pilot.
Yeah, and it's got a very, 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 very strong pilot. So that's kind of everything you need to do.
He's
well.
okay.
Sure.
No,
But yeah,
Go ahead and just call him okay.
Really good.
Yeah.
I'll call him okay.
yeah.
Someone asked about
Brandon Grant.
Brandon's list, just real quick. So I have to take off my glasses for reading. So Talon Master, Samael, and Sable Claw. 2 units of scouts. No, 3 units of scouts. Unit of Inceptors with the plasma, and that's his Dark Angels. Blood Angels is Mephiston, Lamartes, 3 units of scouts, 12 Death Company, both with jump packs,
Yeah.
and a Plasma Obliterator.
Hey, the plasma is not bad. The fortification.
Yeah, the fortification.
Okay.
I saw it at the store and I thought someone brought one, donated one for terrain.
And no, he was using it for real.
He played against Bobby, who showed up.
Hey.
He had a day off.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Good for Bobby.
Played against Alan round 2. Alan said all they had left was Samael and some Intercessors.
Intercessors?
Intercessors.
Intercessors aren't the plasma guys.
No, he has Interceptors. The jump pack with the plasma.
The jump back.
Yeah, because it's a fast attack.
Intercessors are the
The
primary
regular
strikes.
bolt gun guys.
He brought those?
Yeah. Well, because then you can take advantage of the +1 damage to
Okay.
plasma when they drop in. So they're 3 damage instead of 2. I forget how many shots they get.
That's pretty good.
And then I wonder if you could use it. I guess you could have used it on the plasma obliterator too if you wanted to.
Does it have to have Dark Angel's faction?
Can you give a forgation of action?
No, it's taken in. It's
in the
unaligned.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
right.
in its own detachment, and all the buildings are unaligned.
So Alan said all it was Samael and like 2 other squads, and Alan couldn't kill any of them.
You're telling me if I bring a Fortress of Redemption, it's not Dark Angel aligned?
Sorry.
Even though there's a big Dark Angel on it.
There's a giant Dark Angel symbol on it.
Well,
I'm sure it's fine. And then he had basically 2 waves of Death Company.
no, the Death Company is great. I mean, I think most people are hip to that at this point. That they're freaking lawnmowers. And honestly, they were in the Index too. If you could buff them, but just the Codex makes them even better. The flat +1 to wound in melee, right? Just basically having veterans of the lawnmower all the time.
Yeah.
is just really good.
And Axis of Entropy. The event was called GELVO Prep on the 13th. That's at our local store. Brandon comes once in a while, especially to practice before a big event.
Yeah.
Because we get a lot of players from the San Diego area. Usually for our GT, we get Reese and Frankie out here, and Pablo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of the Rage Quit guys were there.
Oh, cool.
Relentless D.
Yeah. Well,
What was it like? What was it, Ryan and
Ryan and Alan.
It was Alan, no Ryan.
No, Ryan. Well, with the storms and such, you might be working.
Yeah.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a good turnout. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, seems like I wish I could have been there, but I'm doing my penance for LVO, so
Yeah.
Besides, I just spent that I think Saturday reading all the FAQs again and everything else, trying to prep for
I
LVO.
read nothing until people ask me questions.
Well, that's kind of the thing, right?
Fun, I see my pants. I just make up stuff at this point.
Yeah, it's fine. Roll off, guys.
Well, yeah. You're used to soccer.
Yeah. Well, if I could red and yellow card people, I would.
Oh my god,
Be
that would be
amazing. Oh my
That would be
god.
awesome. Why we cannot do that?
No. Speaking of LVO,
Yeah. Talk
just-
about the thing that matters.
just a reminder, less than about a week away. In 1 week, we will all be
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
we'll
be
all be in Vegas.
I'll be boarding my plane a week from today right now.
And we have been there for a while.
Yeah, and we should be. Hopefully, a week from now, we're in the seminar.
Yeah. If I get there first, there was a problem.
Yeah, if you get there first.
You get there first. There's gonna be some pissed off people. Not
Yeah.
So there are painting requirements. Of
Yes,
the
just a
LVO.
reminder, because we had a question about a couple of the armies at the tournament last week, because we were enforcing the rules for LVO at the tournament. Nobody's models got pulled, but just a reminder for everybody that's going to participate that it is 3-color and base minimum. That includes a wash.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, one army had base, highlight, wash, basing done. And that
Sounds
was
like my army.
technically. Wasn't going to say.
Yeah.
We weren't gonna name you. It's fine.
But that for this year, it's legal.
Hey.
It's a legal army. That also includes flyer bases. Someone mentioned.
Yes, unless it's a clear
Unless it's
plastic.
A clear plastic base.
Yeah. If it's one of the flyer bases you get with your Helldrake, which I
Hey.
doubt you'll see.
Sound guy.
Fire Raptor, Storm
The chat.
Raven.
Sound guy. Look at the chat. I have no idea what that means.
Okay. I could try to fix that. Why are you using headphones, bro? Why you gotta make life hard and stuff? God damn it.
So,
IT.
IT, did you turn it off, then turn it back on?
No, yeah, shut up.
Did you unplug and plug in your headphone?
I'm gonna turn the stream off. Rage quit right here. Like it.
Don't make me laugh, I'll start talking. So, just a reminder to make sure everything's painted, based. Doesn't have to be old
Golden
school
beam.
heavy metal
Yeah.
quality color, painting. It just needs to be painted. Especially if we want to put you on the Twitch stream,
Oh yes.
whether it's front lines or
GWs.
GWs, because a lot of times they'll ask us, the judges, as to what
What a good game would be.
or what who do you suggest play, or who do you think we should put on, especially in the early rounds.
Right.
They'll a lot of times put people that everybody knows, but once in a while you want to get somebody with maybe a nice army.
Yeah, you want 2 nice armies. And yes, good old Sergeant Barker, it will definitely be enforced. We will be pulling models.
Yeah, it was enforced as SoCal.
Yeah.
The precedent has been set.
Yeah.
We get to keep them, right?
Yes.
No.
Sweet.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's an actual thing, but I want to say so.
That's too bad.
I'm going to try. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Did your issue get better? Yeah, okay, good. He said much better.
Okay.
First guy apparently to ever watch the show live using earbuds or earphones.
Earphones, really?
Yeah. Because he's the only person who's ever pointed it out, and it was just that I have to have that channel down mixed to mono. Because it doesn't...
I have no idea. Just stop talking.
Yeah, I'm just nodding my head, just like when I talk to my wife. I'm just yes, dear.
Pearls to swine around here. I'm gonna go back to build my damn models, which I can't figure out how to get this damn one to work.
Anyway, yes, the painting requirements will be enforced. You don't have to have an absolutely gorgeous models, but obviously some attempts should be made. An honest attempt, not just here's the shoulder pad one color, here's another shoulder pad one color.
No primer black with 3 colored dots.
Yeah.
There needs to be some effort shown on the model, basically.
Yes. And it's also worth pointing out too, for anyone who actually really wants to be on stream, GW is generally pretty clear about they're not going to put you on their stream if you have any models in your army that are not GW models.
Or if it looks like crap.
Yeah, or if it just looks bad. But, I mean, that's the thing. You can have a beautifully painted army. Like, I'm thinking of Israel's from last year that had a ton of the toughest girls in the galaxy models. Like, they would never put that on their stream just because that's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. It's just not GW's. Frontline will put it on because,
they're
Frontline,
independent.
they don't care. Although Frontline's not going to put you on if you look like crap either.
No.
True.
That's what they said. I think they even said that on the Frontline Gaming.
Yep.
On their
The signals.
Okay. So just be aware of that. Also, you know what? Not everyone's gonna go 6-0.
Yep.
So there's plenty of other events to do.
Yes.
Just in case.
What are some of those events?
Us, I don't know. I don't want to name them because then that's more people me and Danny have to keep track of. But if you're so inclined, there is the Gladiator event, which is Saturday, Sunday, and I believe it's 2,500 points.
2,500 points.
And that's showing. And this was before. Originally, the event was created when they had the power level ban.
Right.
Because they allow anything and everything. So if you want to bring a Warhound Titan, which is 2,000 points,
You may do so.
that still leaves you 500 points to bring scouts.
Right.
Captain and 3 squads of scouts.
A
Perfect.
couple hundred conscripts.
All right.
That gives you another conscript screen for your Warhound Titan.
Good lord.
Yeah.
So the Super Chicken, you can take that and still take a real army.
Yeah.
A real army.
Things of that nature. So and that's Saturday and Sunday. On Sunday is the team event.
Yep.
And there is also the first RTTs for the new ITC season.
The 2018
We did it last year. This year is going to be not managed by the BCP app. I think we're just doing signups.
We're going to do a bracket system, so it's just we're going to have probably just brackets on our table. You come up to an empty bracket, put your name in, right? Go play your game. You come back, you record it to us. We move your name in the bracket. Blah blah blah. Right. So that's a good thing. That's a fun thing. There's also I think Sunday's also the Shadespire tournament.
Sunday is the Shadespire tournament. If you want to do that.
Oh yeah, and Mr. Inquisitor, that sucks, man. I'm sorry.
Oh man, yeah, that's terrible, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pay for cremation. Come on, man.
They got a Ralph's around there or something?
Jesus.
I could not do the Lebowski reference. I do not mean to make light of your family's plight, though.
Yeah,
that is really
cremation.
unfortunate.
When my uncle was cremated, it was.
That's just gouging, man. It's like it's just kicking people when they're down, right?
True. I would agree.
Like
with
it's just total gouging.
Counts as Big Gravis Captain. Counts as Israel with the right war gear.
So there's a link to an image.
Let me check that out.
Let John can check it out.
Yeah.
If
I'll put it on
Adepticon
your
said it's
screen.
okay, we're going to say it's not okay because we don't like Adepticon. No, it's fine.
So as Azrael
It's fine. No.
on a 40 mil base, but Azrael has the aura, right?
Oh yeah, because it's the
Is
issue,
it okay with you if I put it up on the stream? I can't see his response. Let me know.
No,
Yeah.
so can say.
Well, there's a delay too.
No, I know. So let me know his responses. Cause
Anyway.
So with the issue would be the size of the base, just like with Adepticon said. It's because of the way auras. I can't talk. Auras work, especially in this edition. It's more prevalent. The size of the base actually does matter.
Yeah.
Especially if you're gonna go bigger. Smaller. It usually doesn't matter because it's a detriment.
That's a
to
detriment. Yeah.
You. Bigger, it's an advantage.
What? Because I don't know about you guys, but I get a ton of emails about like, hey, is this legal? Maybe
Wolf
because I'm
channel.
the first name on the judges
It is 'cause
list
you're the
in the
first
email. But my general rule has always been if it's a conversion and the character has any kind of aura ability, it has to be on the same base that the original model would have.
yes, generally speaking.
And
yeah.
even if there's not an aura, it's just you should stick to the same base size.
That's true.
Just for ease. But it just is. I mean, really, the big thing with conversions that I think people get anxious about. That's just good things to remember is as long as it's more or less the correct footprint on the board, right? It's not too big or too small. That the base is the same base that the model you're converting, you're replacing would have, and that it's clearly distinguishable from every other model in your army, right?
Yes.
And if you're doing many of them, like, oh, I want all of these guys to be my weird boys, that's fine as long as all of the weird boys look the same.
That thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Not okay. This guy's a weird boy, but this guy who's a conversion's a weird boy too. And this, no, like
Yeah.
it's got to be consistent across the board, right? Your opponent should be or a judge should be able to easily visually identify the model
if
and know
you
what
have
it
any
is.
questions, let us know. Don't try not to show up to the event.
Yeah,
The conversion
please.
we haven't seen because we may not allow it.
Yeah, please just take.
My favorite story is always the dildo Eldar Void Shield.
Yeah. So can I use this as void shield generator? I need void shield generator.
There's the conversion. I'm putting between your heads.
That's fine. You can put it between my hands too.
Okay, it's covering up Adam. That's good.
That's fine.
It's gonna get resized. Just
I have the scarring
Remember,
on my
this
head
is
anyway.
a super professional outfit.
Yeah, that looks great to me.
It looks fine to me. Just again, like Adepticon said, it's just the basing.
Yeah, as long as it's on
Yeah.
32,
I'd agree with that.
That's all I would care about. It looks like, it's got a plasma gun and it's got a power sword. So
Although,
there you
does
go.
the current Azrael model come on a 32?
You know what? I don't know. It may come out of 40.
No,
I thought
no.
it came out on 25.
It used to, but
It's old. That's an old model.
I'd say 32.
I would
Just
say
say
I mean,
put it
if
on
you
a
could-
32.
current Marines are 32.
If you were to put it on the 32, I think that would be fine.
yes.
Right. But, yeah.
So I can bring my Terminators on 25s.
No.
No.
Why not? My Terminators are on 25s.
One, you're not playing. And two,
When I
hate
bought
you.
my Terminators,
Don't care.
they were on 25s.
Don't care.
Uh-huh.
Which brings up a good question. Do you think they're
I'm ageist. That's
Do you
why.
think-
You're old. I don't care.
Do you think either Frontline, maybe not GW, do you think they'll come to a point where they'll require, like when I played Josue, he still had Marines on 25s. Do you think it'll come to a point?
If I still have my Silver Marine army, they'd still be 25s.
What
Yeah.
about 2 or
I
3
never
years
went
from
and
now?
converted them. Well,
So-
I did sell it for a reason. And one of those reasons was I was never going to go through and put the entire battle company that I had on 32s.
On 32.
Right.
Because remember, my battle company was also all 10-man tactical squads. I had enough to do that. So there was no way I was doing that.
I would honestly say
60 bases was not happening.
eventually GW will probably be like, you should, but I just don't. Even the new GW, I don't see them specifically saying you must do this.
Yeah, I don't see that either.
And I could see Frontline doing it just because out as a matter of game mechanics,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, that's
but
what I mean.
For competitive play, I could see it happening. Yes.
Like Axis of Entropy is asking about his brother's Necrons who are all on 25s.
Yeah.
There's another podcaster who has all his he has zombies on square bases because that's what they were back then.
Yeah.
But they're it's a swamp thing. He's like, I'm not gonna rip open,
Yeah.
and it's that clear
Yeah.
resin.
And that makes
swamp.
sense.
No, I mean, I think honestly, for a while, it's
probably
okay
okay.
if you're on 20. I don't see that happening in anywhere in the near future. If it even does happen, I could also, I mean, Frontline's pretty understanding of the player base, right?
They are.
I think they're just going to get like, if, this is the way it was. I mean, I think if we can tell that, oh, you took new models and threw away
them
the
on,
bases and put them on 25s, right?
Yeah,
Like,
you can tell. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're saying Azrael comes on at 25.
Yeah, that's an issue then.
If you go 32, to be honest, I don't think anybody will notice.
I'm sure they would not, but you might end up with the one guy who does.
No, but I don't know.
All right, so don't run into John.
Yeah.
If you're playing in a tournament with him.
If you call judge, say I want to judge this, not John.
So
generally that's a good idea. Period.
I would say that if you
I'll
did
just say, oh, he's over there babysitting the game.
yeah.
It's probably true too.
I would say that if you put it on a 25, that would be fine because technically that's what the model comes with. If that's what the model comes with, if not, 32 is fine, as that is kind of the appropriate size for
That's
the
the
model
standard.
of its size at this
I
point.
suppose.
Right. I think Accident Entropy is right. At 25 millimeters, you have a lot more room for close combat shenanigans in terms of orbiting.
Yeah, I noticed
so you
that
get
with
that-
Josue. When,
Yeah. You get that bonus, but you also lose out on a little bit of the aura, right?
Yeah.
So it's a give and take. So I'd be fine with 25 or 32, just not 40.
I would honestly think that it would be better for them to be on the 35s. Better as in terms of
32.
like or 32s, yeah. In terms of like for the legitimacy of things. Not because yes, you get a little bit more aura, but I feel like gaming the melee system is more detrimental to the system. Like I feel like if you've got a whole bunch of people on 25s, and technically you could have them on 32s, that to me seems like it's more gaming of the system based on modeling than like,
Than the aura.
hey, my one aura is slightly bigger.
Right.
I think that being millimeters bigger is not as big of a deal as
No.
being millimeters smaller in terms of like assault.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're saying all my tactical squads on 32s are okay, but all my assault squads on 25s are not? In the same army?
I kind of want to run into. I really want to see. If someone
just
for
give me
the
a
team,
headache.
just please, do that at the LVO so I could send John to your table.
So what? My head will explode and it's like,
Kind of, yeah.
I might not have an aneurysm at the table.
Yeah.
Have flashbacks. You can't disassemble your models.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Oh my
There's
God.
way too many tables of that.
Well,
Thank God there's no more like Tau. You don't have to worry about Tau disassembling
Yeah,
their
Tau.
models.
I wonder. I mean, that'll be a fun game. How many pure Tau? I mean, well, you have to pretty much play pure Tau. How many Tau players will we actually see?
4.
4
Out of 500?
500?
4 out of 500.
I'll say,
And they all drop day 1.
I'll say 10.
I don't know. Tau, I think, is still
All
a relatively
mid-
popular
mid-bottom.
army.
Is Paul playing them?
I'd say 15, 20.
I believe so.
McKelvey?
Yes, he's
Yeah.
Tau through and through.
He's Tau man.
There's enough diehard Taos.
Nikhil's
They'll be
not,
there.
right?
No, Nikhil went to Chaos, right?
Nikhil wants to win.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's playing Chaos.
Which is why he played Tau last edition.
Yeah.
Yes.
So only thing GW has put their foot down is if it's painted as a Smurf, it can't be a Blood Angel. Yeah, and thank God for that.
Which I'm cool with that.
So with the FAQs,
Yeah.
Which FAQs?
they came out with the Blood and Dark Angel FAQs. They
Sure.
also did a kind of an update on the Codex FAQ on
Okay.
Space Marine. But the big thing they took was that basically in order to use Goleman or in order to use a founding chapter at least chapter tactic or Space Wolf, Blood Angel, Dark Angel chapter tactic, I guess they have to be that chapter,
Okay.
or they have to be painted in those colors.
Right. Which, I mean, honestly is not... I mean, you can still get away with painting different color. Like, you don't have to do the standard Codex colors, because you can be like, this is a successor chapter of Dark Angels, blah, 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 blah. Right, that happens to be painted blue. It's just you can't have... And Frontline's already done this. You can't have all of your Marines be blue and then say they're all different chapters. Right.
What? I can't have Ultra Scars?
No, you can. The death of the Ultra Scars and, the Silver Marines would have not been okay.
Why?
Oh.
Depending on if you were mixing chapters. If they were all Astral Knights,
No,
I
fine.
never mixed chapters.
So see, then you would have been fine.
Silver Marines never mixed.
That's
It
fine.
was always
then.
all Salamanders or all Space Wolves.
But I think
or
what
all-
they were saying is, like you said, Goleman basically had to be blue.
Yeah.
Gilliman had to be.
Yeah, because he's an actual Ultramarine, right? You can't get away with with being like, oh, well, this is my successor chapter. It's like
my
it's freaking
Death Guard
Gulliman.
Gilliman wouldn't fly.
Correct.
Yep.
That's bullshit.
If we wanted to, like,
That guy was well painted. Fuck that.
if we wanted to strictly adhere to that.
He looked cool with
So,
his
I don't
purple flame
know.
sword, and
I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying according to the letter of the law by GW.
I'm gonna go
that's not
hobby
cool.
neckbeard in this one and say, yeah.
TO Fiat, the most important thing. Because the rule of cool, right? If someone's just like, no, that's fine. It looks cool to me. Then,
Yeah.
You know.
I wonder how many people are going to call judges for that.
For
A lot.
Cool.
For Gulliman painted non-blue.
I don't think you'll get them any. I think you'll get them in highly contentious games. I think you'll get them halfway through rounds, at which point I'll be like, you should have called me at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
There's a
if
pro
I get
tip.
a call over for this guy's using a Gilliman that's painted red.
Right.
We're on
And
turn 5.
Yeah, you're on turn 5. I'm sorry. If you're past turn 1,
Yeah.
if you were past deployment and you call me over for an issue with some way a model is painted,
Right.
too bad.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
it's like that's not a 3-color minimum,
Right.
because that's what's enforced.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to be... Well, at SoCal Open, it wasn't anything players called attention to in terms of the painting.
Right.
It's something the judges kind of saw as they walked around.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
no, well, that'll be part of our usual walk, but it is a good pro tip.
So if
you're
buy my
going to
Death Guard
complain,
army, don't bring my Gilliman.
if you're going to complain about modeling or about how something's painted, you need to do that at the beginning of the game, because I'm sorry, it's just what it's going to come off as, whether you want it to or not. If it's turn 3 and you start complaining about it, the first thought in all of our heads is going to be, oh, you're losing now, so now you want to weigh
now
out,
it matters.
right?
Yeah.
And that's the
And
optics
now
on
I'm
it.
doing 2 sets of judging.
Yeah.
I'm judging the game, and I'm judging your character.
I always do 2 sets of judging. What do you know?
It depends.
It depends. It depends.
Early on, yeah. By the end of day 1, no, I'm judging character.
Yeah. I don't like your face.
Yeah.
I like your face.
So this is good. The company champion is 40 points, and his Blade of Caliban is 0 points, but it's an awesome sword, better than a 21 point
Blade.
Relic Blade. Don't know if company champion spam will be a thing, but it's not balanced.
Maybe that's why, because Josue he had a, I guess a company champion, but he died when my Fire Raptor exploded, so I don't know what he does.
Okay. I don't know. I think as
Because when a Fire Raptor explodes, it does D6 mortal wounds.
Yeah, that's like when my remember that's my
Yeah.
problem with BAO. My Sicaran kept blowing up and killing my
because you
dudes.
forgot about CPs.
I forgot about lots of things.
Oh, I
you
use
know?
the CP so it could blow up.
Oh yeah, that's what I do with Molochs, man.
no.
Like I just want them to roll that 6. But no, I mean I think any cheap character that can actually impact the game is spammable. Company champion can fight pretty well. Is that, having 10 for 400-ish points, right? Like, is that enough to really swing a fight or swing a game? I don't know, but
I think you're giving up a lot, especially with the new
the ITC
new, character rules.
Yeah, and the character rules that they don't screen each other, right?
Yeah.
That pretty much once the chaff wave and they're just out there dicks in the breeze.
Yes,
they're not going to necessarily last that long. But I could honestly, though, I could see it catching people off guard if all of a sudden you got all of these heroic interventions going off all of the
That's
time,
Yeah,
right?
I think
That's a good point. Heroic intervention would be a thing.
I think with with LVO coming up, I think you're going to see a lot of skew lists. A
Yes.
lot of lists nobody ever thought of that
Right.
Yeah.
may catch a couple people off guard,
Mm-hmm.
a couple important people off guard.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, that's
one of the
a,
reasons why I like
That's-
judging and going.
And I like the 500 players because there's always those times where the super good players get caught off guard.
yeah, dark horses.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we even look at that with Andrew versus Brandon, right? Like, I'm sure Brandon had never even thought of that list, right?
No.
Of like, how do I
I
deal
know
with
Carlos did it.
Yeah, how do I deal with mucoloids, right? Like,
yeah.
how do I deal with spore mines, right? Like, we just
I think a lot of it is you're playing what?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same. Like
Yeah,
again,
this
I
top
was
table of the tournament. Yeah, I'm playing Tyranids. Huh?
I always think of it as in back in Warmachine, of just if you ever asked, hey, what does he do? Or hey, what is that? You've lost the game already, right? Like if you actually don't know what the core
That
of
was the
your
War
is.
Machine thing.
Yeah.
That and okay, so here's what's gonna happen.
Oh, that was my favorite.
Or
So
this is how
no,
it's
this
gonna
so
work.
this is how it's going to work.
Right, this is
That
how-
always meant you just lost.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless they
and if
blew
you
their dice roll.
combined- Okay, what does that think I do with? So this is how this is gonna work.
Yeah.
You were having a really bad tournament.
I think that was one of the last tournaments in Warmachine I ever played. Is when the big dwarf Colossal came out, like the Mr. Zoidberg, like the.
Oh yeah.
And there was just a combo you could do where you could do a first turn assassination from like 20 plus inches away with it, right? So you can knock down and then just gun them the fuck down with that guy. And I was playing that because I'm like, oh, this is fun. I actually did double. I also had the pirate ship one, and the guy was like, man, I've never seen that. I was like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, that's the dwarf Colossus. I'm like, whoa, that's cool. I've never seen that. And I was like, oh,
you're having a bad day, bro.
And it's like, okay. And then he I was like, you can go first, because in Warmachine you always generally wanted to go second. Right. It's like, you can go first, and he moves up, and it's like, I see him measure, I'm like, it's like, you're moving more than like 4 inches past your deployment line. And he just goes forward, and I'm just like, I felt so bad. I just had the moment of like, and I looked at him, I'm
maybe
like,
I should
okay,
pull this trigger.
This is how this is going to work. And he knew, right? He was not like a completely new player. Right. And that look just came over his face of like,
oh man.
Right? Like,
okay, wow, teach me a thing.
Yeah, this game's gonna last 15 minutes. Great. So you want to go? I was like, we literally started packing up as I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. He was just starting to put models away. Wow.
I'm so glad I stopped playing that game when I did.
I've tried like 4 times. It just never catches on.
3. I had 3 separate armies.
I tried every edition too,
and every time it was like fully painted armies that I got from guys at the store.
Yeah.
So and I played, and they were beautiful armies, and I was just like,
that was the first problem. They're painted.
Yeah. Well,
that's how you know they're not.
Yeah.
One of them was Travis's, his Kador.
Yeah.
And then I got some, and I painted some of it. But
Warmachine's problem is pretty much since 2 years, 3 years into second edition was it's just no one wants to play that game for attrition, right? Like, and that's what it becomes. It's all about objective and attrition and just grind. Like, you didn't need to kill anybody anymore, and that was always the allure of the game. Of there's always this win condition, assassination, kill the caster, right? And that was really exciting when there were all these crazy assassination combos of like, I do this and I do this and I pull him this way and boom,
right?
And those were the really fun games. And when it turned into, okay, here's my spam of infantry that you just can't kill fast enough, and we just grind in the center over these flags.
It's funny because it looks like 40K's turned into that kind of like combo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Combo kill mechanic.
Kill within 2 turns and game win. Yeah.
But honestly,
Warmachine's going more towards the old grind.
Grind. Yeah, it's not fun. I mean, part of it, it's as Travis would always say, like, Warmachine unfortunately learned bad lessons from GW. They got really successful, and then they went up to their tower and were like, we know how this game really works. We know how this really plays, and just lost track of reality. Yeah. Right. And their whole, play like you got a pair, right? Just competitive.
Came back and bite them in the ass.
Yeah, just because, competitive players make up 10 to 15% of the population.
Right.
Right. The majority of 40K games are not played at tournaments. They're played in people's garages, their basements, their living rooms with their friends. Right?
I disapprove, but that's fine.
But that's the majority of again, if you are a part of any
40K garage
Facebook
game, garage
this is all fake news.
Yeah, we're over.
There you go.
I'm gonna give out my fake news awards now. Danny gets the first one. Adam gets the second. Woo!
Number one. Is this when your website crashes?
This is when the website crashes right now.
So, Access to Entropy asks, how many admech players do you think will be at LVL?
I think a decent number because it's a very popular army.
Yeah,
but there's really only one competitive build.
Right, but it's not like Tau.
There's at least a competitive build.
Tau has a competitive build. It's just all commanders.
Yeah, well, that and like,
but that's not
the Tau community is different because like the Tau players are different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're the kind of players who like things aren't going their way, so they're gonna complain
blame everybody
about
else except themselves,
and they complain about it, and then they don't show up.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of them. I mean, there's going to be Tau players there, the diehards, but the community itself is kind of, at least from my experience the last 6-7 years, is that when Tau's great, that community is super happy, and they're all coming to every tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it turns off, if that spigot gets tweaked a little bit, and it's not the land of milk and honey,
right?
They curl up into like little pill bugs.
Or change armies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they change armies. I think they just stop coming. Like, I swear, man. Like,
players we know building new armies right now.
Right, but
one will go back.
Yes, I generalized an entire faction's players, and it's funny that I'm not wrong. Yeah, they do. They like curl up into little pill bugs.
No,
and
actually, I'm part of
areas,
the Tau group, and oh my god, they are super salty.
Yeah.
Well, again, they're not like I think this because they're still I think of them as a newer army.
Yes.
When,
Compared to some of the army,
But like orc players, I don't care how bad orcs have been. There's always going to be guys who beat the orc drum every tournament and come.
Yes.
Same with Tyranids. Like
Tau
I'm one
doesn't
of
have that type
those
of
guys.
devotion. The Tau group is not devoted in that way. They're devoted to the faction, but they're only devoted to the faction because they want it to be good.
Right.
Like there are orc players that are devoted because it's orcs.
Yes.
There are AdMech players who are devoted because it's AdMech.
And they're excited they came out, right? Like
Right.
and
There are guys who've been wanting to play Adeptus Mechanicus for 20 years.
Yes.
And again,
And I think because Tau was an invention,
yeah.
the player base is different because it's an invented faction, whereas AdMech has been in the fluff for forever.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's wrong. I mean, even Tyranids, which are a slightly younger, right? Like they came out in like what
third.
second?
No,
Well,
second.
the second is when
Were they in
Steelers.
second?
Yeah,
They're in second.
Is like I've always been a diehard Tyranid player. Even when they suck, I play them, right?
Yes.
And there's plenty of guys, and like I go every time I go to LVO and I see pretty bug armies
Yes.
that I know are bad because I can look at them and be like, that's a bad army, but that guy's still like, yeah, I'm here.
Brilliantly painted Tyranid armies.
Yeah.
Yes, orc players really
Are the best consistent.
They are, and they are
Yes.
good, bad. There's you know you're gonna have a good fun
game.
game
Yes.
with an orc player.
Oh yeah. Well, most of them.
I still find the screaming. I still
I
find
know what you're talking
screaming
about.
log
Yes, I agree.
consistently annoying.
But no, but
And yes, there are a couple of notable outliers.
But no, I mean, yeah, there's very few games I've ever played against orc players where it's not just been someone who enjoys the game, right? Like, and that's the thing. It's like
I think the problem with Tau is, or Tau players in general is,
they watch too much anime.
no, there's nothing wrong with that.
They like too much communism.
That could be an issue.
Yeah.
I'll talk to McCarthy about that.
Yes.
But I think this was like the first. How good were they in 6th and 5th?
What? Tau?
Fifth,
Fifth,
not very good.
fifth, they got hit hard because they didn't have jump shoot jump anymore.
Third, they were good, but they were not as good as
I
they
played
had
them
were.
in 4th because they were good at the end of 4th. Remember,
No,
I was doing the jump
remember-
shoot jump.
Yeah,
Jump shoot
I
jump was
remember
amazing.
that, but I just remember. I don't remember them being this strong though.
They were the
In
strongest. They were the strongest in
7th.
seventh.
They were the
I think
most
they've ever been.
taken in 7th.
And I think that's part of the problem.
And it
with-
was all the formations.
But I think that's part of the problem with the group because you're getting a lot of players that started in 7th.
Yes.
Right.
So they're used to this, and they got. And I'm not gonna lie.
They got
I
hammered
agree with
hard,
them. They got hit
yes.
hard, and they got kneecapped.
Yeah.
And they're gonna make a movie about it 20 years later.
Probably.
And
Oh yeah, Paul's right. Fish of Fury was big too.
Yeah, Fisher Fury.
Fish of Fury was big early 4th.
Yeah.
And then
right, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same.
it's
scale
not the, and it's
as
not the
Riptide.
same scale of dominance. No.
Right.
Oh, and
The only scale of dominance that Tau and Eldar in 7th. The only other time I can remember a faction being that level of dominance was
5th edition Grey Knights.
5th edition Grey
Or
Knights,
3.5 chaos.
3.5 chaos. That's it.
Ah, good old 3.5.
Like there was no army
I
in
didn't want to say it, but
Yeah.
any-
There was no army in 4th that was extraordinarily dominant on its own. Like you had Eldar, Serpent Spam was big.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Flyer. You had Necrons, the triple
monolith
monolith.
build, yeah.
You had triple whirlwind Space Marines.
You had
If you
Nidzilla.
If you had you had Nidzilla. If you had Forge World drop pods in 4th edition, you were a god.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
But like even the all Forge World drop pod Space Marine army loses to triple monolith.
yeah.
And loses to not Nidzilla.
No.
What was the other hard counter for it? Oh, jump shoot jump.
Yeah.
Tau Crisis suits.
Tau Crisis.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think because you have so many players that came in 7th,
Yeah.
and had this this golden time, I guess. And
Yeah.
now they got hit so hard. I think
They
that's part of the frustration.
they entered in the peak, and now they're
Yeah, to be honest, and I think
Tau needs
Facebook
something.
is part of the reason too, because now they have this echo chamber where they can all basically complain with each other. They're just going through what basically all the other.
So what you're saying is the Tau Facebook groups are the mommy groups of 40K?
I'm just saying.
I'm staying out of that one. Jeez, a little below the belt, guys. Like fuck. Like,
All I'm saying is that they're just going through this phase where
We love you, Tom.
our book was good, now it's not
Yeah.
so good, and,
And
I think they're
and-
just trying to deal with it. And
And I know
unfortunately-
we're making jokes at their expense, but to be totally fair, Tau got fucking wrecked with the nerf bat
Oh, yeah.
in
Yeah,
8th
yeah.
edition. Like, just
Well, again, that's
annihilated.
because GW saw what hell they had wrought, right, with the Tau, and just did what they usually do, which is overcome.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree, Axis.
About 8th?
I think that 5th was the best edition,
Oh my
but it
God,
wasn't.
you're
If
insane.
GW supported 5th the way they support 8th, yes, the system was
No.
so much better.
No, it was not. That is like, again, there are people, I'm sorry, that's people who go back and be like, you know what, second edition was the best. And I'm like, second
You know
edition
what?
sucked.
Oh, second
Like,
edition was terrible.
I love Chaos 3.5, and that's 3rd/4th.
Yeah,
But I prefer 8th edition.
Yeah.
Over.
really.
Yes.
8th edition
Oh my
is
God.
so much more streamlined. It's so much more intuitive just to get dice rolling.
I
and
didn't
play.
find 5th edition that confusing.
And it's not that it's confusing. It was just there were too many rules that conflicted with other rules because they weren't written with a level of precision.
Yeah.
Here,
What I'm
there's
saying
not the
is
same level of there's not precision, but the
Second
rules
edition
are
was
simpler.
we got a second edition, dude. No, what I'm saying is if 5th edition had been done the way they did 8th, with that type of commitment to the rules being clear and commitment to the factions coming out in a timely manner, I think 5th edition would be best.
So you're in Fantasyland. That's what you're telling
So
me.
John
this
is
surprising
crazy.
to anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. John is not dealing with facts. He's dealing with fake news.
I live in a post-fax world, apparently.
So we're
Anyway.
dealing with facts, and the fact is 8th is probably the best edition.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, jury's still out.
I really like 8th. I think it's great.
We'll
I
see what
think
happens
part
when
of
Space Wolves come out.
yes. I think part of the problem too for people
we'll see
who
if
are
they're still good because you made the argument that Space Wolves has always been good. And I agree. Space Wolves has always been good in every edition.
This is
Or they have not been bad.
They've never
Every
been
time
bad.
they come out
Yeah.
with a book, they're good.
Yeah.
They're not.
Do they stay at the top of the heap? No. But
No, they're good.
but-
yeah.
and they
they're
always have
competitive.
viable builds.
Yeah.
When they
I mean,
get their
and that's the
books.
thing. Although, what was it, Mr. Inquisitor? I feel bad for orc players. They need the love more than the communist fish. Honestly,
True.
orcs still have to me one of the most competitive builds. I think that is actually a GT, a big event worthy list, which is
I don't
Weird
know.
Boy spam.
Well, I don't know
Weird
if
Boy
it's
spam.
winning, but it's
No, I mean 100. I think 160 boys because the orc boys with the choppa is still one of the best units in the game.
That's been one of the
It's
best units
cheap
in the game
and
for a
it just
long
kicks
time.
Yeah.
butt.
now
And you got
you mob up
160
and-
of them.
and that new command, the new strategy.
Judgments,
I love
right,
running.
and you get 10 weird boys who you it's like, oh well, my smite's on a +7. Fuck you, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I get- I
and if they
get
die,
+2
they
or
die, and
something,
you're
yeah.
shooting orcs across the table. You're gonna win on objectives, right? You're gonna control the board. It's just a lot of models to move. It's a lot of models to have, and it's super abusive. So a lot of the orc players don't really embrace it because orc players aren't typically that abusive. Right, they're not sitting there thinking like, okay, man, how do I really milk this system?
Generally, they're not. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
if I
playing
played-
120 boys with choppers in 5th.
Yeah, I'd join in 4th, right? Like if I had the time really more than anything, and resources to build that orc list, I would have nothing but boys and weird boys, and it would just either table you or you would never score objectives because like, nope, justice secured, here's 20 dudes,
Yeah.
come at me, bro.
Right.
Right, and a couple pain boys thrown in for that, just that extra 16% more of them don't die.
I thought about when we had this discussion in team chat, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
I quickly went onto eBay and was like, okay, how many boys can I find? But you can't find them on eBay anymore.
No.
Because the age of Assault on Blackreach is long gone.
Yep. Too bad. It's the cheapest way. I remember this is one of the first armies I fully painted was my 4th edition orcs, all 120 of the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 110.
Yeah, my 5th edition orcs were
Really?
120 boys, all Slug of Choppa, and they were all from Assault on Blackreach. Every one of them. Yeah.
I bought a box of
I kind of want to go. Oh, sorry, I kind of want to go
stick
back.
bombers,
Oh,
yes.
yeah,
just so I can use them as boys.
yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go back to orcs. I won't lie because it was technically my first army.
Okay.
Right, because I got it from the 2nd edition starter box, right, with the terrible Gretchen and all that.
I still have my orc sniper I custom built back when you can make orc snipers that hit on 4s.
My first army was Black Templars, and I have no inclination to go back.
Really?
Yeah.
My first. Oh wait, I still play chaos.
Right.
But yes, I wish I could get GW stock also.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of those things I thought about it at the time when they were really tanking, and then they were talking about, Age of Sigmar and 8th edition of like, oh, maybe I'm investing. Yeah, they're making money hand over fist, which
I don't
is.
think we can. I think you have to be a UK citizen to get.
Yeah, that's right. You can. Oh, you can get around that by if you invest in one of the investment companies that invests in them, right? Like you can kind of do that weird random crap. But I
What?
Wrong game, John.
I know.
anyway.
What army will dominate LVO? You know what? I don't know what's the hands-on
Hands-on.
favorite. I don't.
You know, it's not. I'll put
It may
this
come
way.
down to pilot.
It's always pilot.
Yeah, it is always.
Yeah, but
Like,
It's
come
always
on. Okay, you're gonna tell me Riptide Wing requires a good pilot?
Huh?
But
No,
Riptide Wing
but
only
Riptide does
got
not
through
win
the sixth
without.
round. It didn't make it into.
Right. To well, I guess
that's
let's
what I'm saying.
let's be specific in our language, right? Like when we say dominate, do we mean going to win or
Well, just
going
give-
to
why
have
don't
the
we
most
just-
wins as a collective faction, right, across all?
I
the
think
games?
if you're talking about which ones are going to have the most wins across the most games, it's going to be chaos.
Yeah,
Simply because of the numbers
Yes.
of players?
And the
number of
and,
competitive builds.
and the number of
Yes.
competitive builds, and the fact that of the books that have come out, all the chaos ones are better than the non-chaos
With
ones.
probably the Chaos Space Marine one being the most
I mean, the regular
durable.
Space Marine book is not good.
It's
It's
okay.
only got the couple of builds.
It only has robe out. That's
Yeah.
it. I played Josue with it, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say it was
And-
easy, but
Hey, I beat him with my Tyranids, but although that list was designed to do that in a funny way.
Right.
It
Yeah,
did
guys, I
pretty-
don't know the sound. There's a couple of sound issues that we can't quite get hammered out, and I'm not sure why. So we'll look into it. But
we'll probably switch maybe just to one mic next.
One mic's probably better.
yeah, we could do the one overhead.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Maybe we just need to speak sorry. We get too loud and we start. There's 3 mics on the table, so
That's true.
probably we're just
Yeah.
speaking
So
too
you're saying
loudly.
talk louder.
Yes,
no, Adam.
talk as loud as you
As
can.
loud as you can.
Wake up his kids right now.
They'll sleep through it. That's why I don't mind doing it here.
Yeah,
No.
fair enough. Yeah, I think Chaos is going to just if we look at the faction breakdown, right, Chaos is going to be the army that just scores the most wins. Whether they win the whole thing, I don't know. I think too many good players are planning on playing against Chaos, right? So they're having list designs with that, kind of, that kind of overkill. No, we don't have an overhead mic right now.
I'm saying I can do it.
Yeah, we can just do just an overhead. Custodes.
Right.
That'd be
John's
awesome.
Army. John's Custodian's army.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Chaos is just
No,
so
it's going to
good.
be chaos. Chaos will be the most dominant in terms
Yeah.
of wins. I don't know if it wins everything.
Like I said, I
but-
think too many top players know about Chaos, and
Yes.
they have the
they build
silver
for
bullets
them,
in their
right.
armies to handle.
Although
it, right?
because there's such a diversity of chaos builds, we might end up with one.
that's true. I mean, well, it's also how many of the top players are
there's
going to
some
pilot
great-
Chaos.
There's some great Death Guard builds,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's a couple of surprising Death Guard builds. Like the people who build around a couple of the tricks, and you can build around several of the tricks. Like you can build to do the grenade trick, and you can build to do poxwalkers. And
Right.
you can do that stuff.
no,
A boom mic drop randomly. No, it would hang overhead. I wouldn't have a boom. It would be off camera. It would be the same way if you've ever watched us live stream a game. I have a mic that I hang over the table, just one, and it works fine.
yeah.
We could try that.
Double Primac. I mean, I think Rick and Morty or whatever that's being called. I like to
Mags
call it
and
Mag.
Morty?
Yeah, I like to call it Mags Morty, but I think that's
I think everyone's prepared for that.
Everyone's
I have a
ready.
shadow sword in every one of my Imperial armies just for that.
Table
yeah.
noob, I would not bank on that.
what.
What do you say?
He says GW holds back the FAQ and Demon Deep Strike Primarchs.
I would
No.
expect it. I'm not saying it's
If you
coming
even
out, but
have that in the back of your mind as you're going to run that, and you're banking on it doesn't come out in time, don't. Build something else.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's going to come out on Sunday
yeah,
because that's when they usually release
Yeah.
the FAQs.
yeah. I'm just it's coming. It's
Yeah,
just that
it's
my
like
my
tomorrow
bones
or
tell
Sunday
me,
or something.
right?
It's-
Yeah,
It
just
is
plan
coming
for
out.
it to be there. If not, okay, great. Then you do it. If it's there, then
Yeah. I wouldn't count on it, guys.
no. I was basing my whole army. It was
Yeah, I know. I have
the Lord of Skulls.
I have that.
Did I
on
put that meme in the edgelord cases? Or the edge cases? If you build bullshit,
I haven't seen-
don't have to worry about having to change your army if you don't build it based on bullshit edge cases. Yeah.
So far, I haven't really had to change any of my armies.
I've never had to change mine either.
Yeah, I haven't either.
But then I go 1 and 2 at tournaments.
If you build trying to abuse, the FAQs are going to screw you every time.
Yeah.
You can't do that with this edition.
The-
I think I just wrote an article for Frontline about this very thing.
Yeah.
I used that meme in the article. That's why I was thinking about it.
Oh, okay.
So the Blood Angel FAQ took like 5 weeks, but that's because they're also lumping it in with Dark Angels.
Plus, we had the holidays.
Yeah. And
Plus,
the holidays slowed a lot of things
LVO
up.
wasn't around the corner.
Yeah. They had Boxing Day. You can't work on Boxing Day.
Boxing Day.
What the hell are you talking about? What the hell's a
I think-
Boxing Day?
It's a UK thing.
Like
Or is it
everybody
Canadian?
makes boxes?
No, it's the UK.
You like
It's
thing.
UK. It's the day after Christmas.
You box
Yeah.
your things up?
I don't know.
Is that
what
I
it
just know
is?
it's called
Boxing
Boxing
I don't
Day.
know. It's
Man,
just
like
Boxing Day.
I'm not claiming to be an authority on British culture and customs.
You better if you want to get that job at Black Library.
I know, right? I need to. Yeah. Well, I'm never gonna get that job. At Black
Maybe the
Library.
FAQ
I'm way
be
too
a power
American.
limit.
On the Deep Strike strat. That's too funny.
Probably not. I think they're just gonna do. That seems too. That seems too granular, honestly, for
I mean,
GW. They like more
They've
sweeping.
already
changes.
given out the heaviest-handed hints they possibly could
Right.
at what it's going to be.
Yeah, so
And that hasn't-
probably shouldn't
yeah.
say anything at this point.
Right.
But we'll see when it comes out. I'm saying Sunday, because they usually release the FAQs on Sunday. Like they dropped the Imperial Guard FAQ the Sunday of SoCal Open.
Last year, you're not. It wasn't LVO. You're thinking of SoCal Open. They said an FAQ would drop by SoCal Open, and it didn't. So then Frontline went ahead and said for SoCal
For the Imperial
FAQ,
Guard, right?
For the Imperial Guard, yeah. GW
certain things, and then GW dropped the
Yeah.
FAQ the Sunday.
The Sunday of,
yeah.
SoCal.
and it was every single thing they said it would be. As one of the head judges from last year's LVO, I can tell you right now there was no such promise.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We did all the FAQ work last year.
No,
and
what we
put it
got
out.
was the Gene Stealer cult,
Yeah.
Yes.
That total. Yeah.
Yes.
and they because it was the Serval Skull question.
Yeah.
Yes. But we went with
Our version,
yes.
which was not the same,
Which was not
actually
the version
better
they used. Right.
than the GW version when they came out with theirs, and that might be what he's thinking about.
That's probably what you're thinking of, yeah.
It was the Gene Stealer cult, and that came out after LVO.
Yes. Yeah. The Gene Stealer Code one, but we had already done the FAQ work for that.
Yes,
Right.
they just didn't get it out.
Oh god, that was such.
That's why that at that time
I blocked all that out.
we put out our own.
Yeah.
I remember the
I just love
Pain
going
and the
into all the
pleasure.
Tyranid and Gene Stealer Code groups and being like, "You're welcome. You're
so
welcome."
subtle, John.
I know.
I
right?
have subtlety. I have
Humility.
I have all the subtlety.
That's
of
why
a
they call him
sledgehammer.
Humble John.
Yeah, my name is John.
Man, I want my credit
Yeah, don't we all?
when it's due, and I want to be scarce when it's not.
Oh, you'll be reminded. Trust me.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Anyway, what else were we going to talk about?
No, I think if anybody else has any other questions, go ahead and ask on the chat. The other thing is the meetup,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
which is
Friday night.
Yeah.
10 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
at the bar.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if I can stay up that late anymore.
Oh,
I'll have some coffee.
Christ.
I'm already up past my bedtime.
I guess
man.
you can get Danny a coffee.
Yeah. Oh
But
no, I'll be.
you'll
drinking.
have had Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
I know. I'll actually have a night of uninterrupted sleep for more than 5
Yeah,
hours.
so
Like,
you'll
I'm
be
gonna
raring to go.
Yeah, I'll be running fucking marathons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one time we stayed up. I think you were with us, John.
Yeah.
We stayed up till like 2 a.m. and we got like a second wind.
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
midnight.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, that was no. That was
that
the first.
out, John?
That's when we were hanging out.
That was
with
the first
That was
year.
first year when we were
That was
hanging out with the
first year.
Scotsman. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
That wasn't
that's
it.
right.
right, where it was just like, oh, it was about
We
midnight.
went
We're
up-
like, we should
we
go.
were looking. We were looking for
No,
a place
last
to
year
smoke.
was the year where we stayed up late the first night, and then I got that migraine and went to sleep
Yeah,
without
that's
taking
right.
anything, and then I was puking in the morning because I was so nauseous from the migraine.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even I'd only had like
2 beers.
2 or 3 beers, like that. That was, and then I was so scared of like having that happen
Everything.
again the next night that I went home. We went back to the hotel after dinner, and I went to sleep, and I woke up, and I went downstairs to buy a water. And on my way downstairs, I ran into Casey and Mike and Carlos, and they dragged me to the bar. Remember, I posted that picture of myself at like 3:30 in the morning. All I did was go downstairs and get water.
I know. So Friday night, 10 o'clock, after they're actually doing a how to or a seminar about YouTubing and podcasting, things like that.
That's
And
cool.
Then there's a live show for Life After the Cover Save if anybody's so inclined.
Hey, yeah. That's always
I
fun.
may go on,
Cool,
deign them with my presence.
nice.
Uh,
And then with your roses.
And then, but 10 o'clock at the bar,
Yeah.
just drink, talk, 40K, talk about whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about 40K.
Yeah.
We can talk about history. I love talking about history.
So if you love history, I do too, but I'm okay about talking about it. I'm not as into it as John is.
Just be careful if you get me onto the topic. It's hard to get me off.
Only because I don't teach it.
Right.
Right.
If you want to talk history, you can talk to John. Drunk John. So you can talk drunk history with John.
I don't get that drunk.
That's what he says.
That's
I know
you
that is
seen
not
me
a
drunk?
fact. Yes, I have.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you
I was gonna
have.
say you cannot tell me
You
don't
have.
get drunk.
I don't get drunk often, but you've seen it. That's true. Yeah, you have seen it. Now that I think about it.
Okay, real quick.
Man.
We are planning to go to the GW seminar.
Yes.
They probably will announce the next codices after
Yay.
Thousand Suns and
Space Wolves.
And so Paul is asking what codexes do you think are going to be next after Thousand Suns?
So it's Custodes, Thousand Suns. Then I think it'll probably be Tower Orcs
Okay.
or Drukhari.
Mm.
I think one of those three is like a shoo-in.
I think it'll be all. I think they're gonna go on a very big because
A tear?
almost all the Imperial and Chaos stuff is out.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
So I think
Except for,
this year is
except for
more or
Space
less a
Wolves.
Xenos.
Space
So
Wolves.
maybe Thousand Suns, so Space Wolves.
at some point.
At some point this year.
Although again, they might do the.
But
They-
no, I bet the very next book after Thousand Suns is Space Wolves, and then after that we get like 4 Xenos books.
I don't know if we don't get. I mean, my theory is if we don't get Space Wolves anytime soon, to me that suggests that they're working on Russ and having another Primarch, or the other Primarch come back, right? And so they're working on getting his model ready and having the big splash release of
Yeah, Axis Avenger was saying Tau Necrons because they didn't get too many point changes in the chapter approved.
That could definitely be it. It would be good to see Necrons. As much as we rag on Tau, at least Tau have commander spam. Like Necrons, poor fucking robots, man.
Yes, Mr. Inquisitor, plastic sisters, but plastic sisters of silence.
Yeah.
That
We already have
caveat.
that, yeah. If you think about what needs it, Drukhari, Necrons, Tau, and Orcs are all like equal neck to neck. Like they desperately need help.
Well, Orcs got a new range when they came out in late.
I don't mean help model wise. I mean help.
Well, I'm just
rules-wise.
saying in terms of like not needing to like make new products. I mean, they can make a couple new models like Gazgo for Orcs. Necrons, I don't think.
Well, who's
need to-
Axis talking about? He keeps saying both got 0 point changes. Or
Yeah,
no?
Necrons and Tau.
Tau.
They didn't get any points.
Oh, in
adjustments
chapter approved.
The only point adjustments for Necrons was for the Forge World.
Yeah.
Panel.
That's a pretty good point, Axis. I would imagine that means they're pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'd buy that.
I think Tau has a lot of newer models.
Luckily,
Yeah, buy that
hopefully,
for
we'll
Endor.
find out on Thursday.
Yeah.
Next week, this time.
Hopefully,
we know.
hopefully, maybe we'll. Hopefully,
Help
maybe
us.
we'll find out. If not Thursday, of just some conversations.
Yeah.
That's the nice part about being judges. We get to talk to those guys every now
Yes.
and then.
Yeah.
I can harass them.
Um,
Be like, "Where's my Seraphon?"
you're not getting Seraphon.
Yeah, probably not. I would love them in Shadespire. Oh my god, I'd buy that shit out of that. So even Blood Bowl, I'm not a huge fan of Blood Bowl. I'd definitely get the Seraphon Bloodful team.
Is there one?
No, I
Or
mean
is
they
it
have
if
rules
they
for the
make
old.
one?
They have rules for the old Lizardman team, but yeah.
Okay.
And then Table Dude is asking about the if the fact limits strats to a keyword, that it's a slippery slope as other books don't matter except demons. I think other books it does matter. The reason you can use because they limited the G Sealer Cult and Tyranid
Mm-hmm.
that they can't combine because their faction keywords are different.
Right.
Nurgle or Death Guard and Chaos Space Marine is able to work because their faction
Keywords are the same.
Right.
Yeah.
They both have Heretic Astartes.
Right.
Right.
As the faction keyword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
I
the
don't
rule,
know if it's such a slippery slope. I know that for me and for a lot of players that I've talked to, the idea of stratagems being used outside of the books that have access that grant them
Yeah.
is something that really pisses off a lot of people.
Yeah,
it pisses me off. I think that shouldn't be allowed. I think there's a whole group of people up north in California who've changed their rules for their local tournaments so that
yeah,
you can only use the stratagem if
for
the detachment that unlocked it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because people don't like that. They don't like that. Oh yeah, so I'm going to take this thing and this thing and this thing, and then this stratagem is going to apply to these 3 other things.
Hey, don't hurt my Tyranids. Right.
But I think with Tyranids, different.
I think
Because
with
you're all
Tyranid-
faction
with-
keyword
with
Tyranid.
Tyranids
No, well,
or
but I mean,
orcs-
but the idea that if you take the detachment, only that detachment can use those specific strats.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right.
Well,
See,
no, because-
that's why I don't necessarily like that fix they came up with.
Right.
I like the fix of that GW is coming up with, which is the faction keyword.
Keyword need to be the same.
Need to be
Although
the same.
that with Gene Stealer Cult, they still have the same faction keyword. They're all faction Tyranids, right? Does
Right,
Gene
but they
Stealer
came
Cult
out
have
and
an
said
extra
Gene Stealer
faction?
Cult can't do it.
Right.
Right.
I
I
mean,
think that's the direction they're headed, but I think that they didn't realize that soon enough, so it's going to be a little sloppy. Like the rolling that fix out is going to be a sloppier thing than just like, okay, this is the way it is.
Right.
Because you end up with things like, well, Gene Stealer Cult and Tyranids were probably written way before they realized this was a problem.
Right.
So now they're saying no, specifically no.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, with at least with Death Guard, I see that because Death Guard literally had the same faction keywords as CSM. It's Heretic
Yes.
Astartes, and then
Yes.
Death Guard is a legion within
Right.
the Heretic
Astartes,
Astartes, right? Like so,
which is why that works. Yeah.
But I think with their new FAQ/errata schedule,
Mhm.
we're probably going to see it in March, because that's when the next big that's the next game FAQ errata is.
Right. March. Yeah.
So it'll either be before or after Adepticon.
Right. Okay.
wow.
That's fair.
So that's only like 2 or 3 months away.
Yep.
Yeah,
You know, and then we'll see. Then the next one's in September, and then chapter proof.
yeah,
I think chapter proof is going to be more points adjustments.
Yeah.
Like General's Handbook.
Yes. That
Where
makes sense.
the March September ones are more FAQ and errata adjustments.
Mm-hmm. That would make sense. I'd be cool with that. That's fine.
So, so remember 10 o'clock Friday night.
Yes. I'll wear
Come to the-
a shirt that has TFG radio on it somewhere.
as I will.
If I remember, I'll wear a shirt
You're
that's
gonna
I will.
remember.
TFG radio on.
I'll wear my TFG tank top.
I haven't
Bring the
decided.
guns
I'm
out.
either gonna wear the blue T-shirt or I'll wear my wrecked. Remember, I made that one with the hashtag wrecked for our
Oh,
team
yeah.
for
Oh,
myself. It has Salty John on it and it
Oh,
has
that'd be a good
TFG
one.
radio.
I think just talking to you, everybody will know who something is.
I'm not that salty. Not in
You
reality.
keep saying that.
I'm not.
One day that'll be
I'm
true.
funny.
Yes, one day. That
One day that.
Dead.
Yeah, I don't think that'll ever be
When he
true.
goes-
You know what the problem is I make people salty.
Yes,
I'm not actually salty myself.
you encourage salt in others. That
Oh
is
man,
for
do you
sure.
remember when we used to play? What was that game? We used to hook all the Xboxes together. We did the LAN parties.
Oh,
Gears of War.
freaking Gears of War!
Gears of War,
Oh
yeah,
my
and I used to
God.
drive people crazy with the chainsaw bayonet because I was not good at it, but I just ran around chainsawing people. And I still remember you screaming at Thorn from the other room. No, from the garage. I could hear Danny screaming at Thorn from the garage. God damn it, he killed me with the fucking chainsaw again. Thorn, your one job was to kill John. All you had to do was watch for the chainsaw. Why can't you just fucking kill him?
That's right. Those are good times. I also remember at one point we were playing and just of hearing you guys of being like, you know, because this time we weren't in the garage, we were in the other room. We were separated by rooms and just
Yeah.
hearing like, okay, I got whoever the fuck was there. That's like, okay, who's left? I think it's just Danny's left. And it's like, okay, it's like go this way. As long as he doesn't have a torque bow.
Yeah.
He has a torque bow.
Yeah, torque bow, yes. Yeah, those are good days. Yeah, anybody who's ever played PUBG with me knows I'm not that salty at all.
Yeah, true.
I am only with my brother.
You are. So's Tom.
I'm super
Oh,
salty.
yeah. I just like doing it to Tom because I know he gets rattled really easy.
He's a sensitive boy. Okay.
Yeah, it's an Irish guilt or Catholic guilt.
Catholic
so
guilt.
it's
If Ray
easy.
was still on, he could attest to that. I played PUBG with Ray on PC all the time.
But yes, Friday, just come by the judges' table, say hi.
Yeah.
We'll be there all whole weekend.
Yeah.
Most of us.
Yeah.
Most of us, yeah.
We're walking around, one of the two.
Yeah, you'll probably find me just walking around.
I'll be at the table,
Yes. Yeah.
making sure nobody steals the iPads.
Yeah.
Old man.
Yeah.
The old man in the sea.
Yeah. Or either that or you'll find me like in the casino, like on one of my union breaks.
Yes.
Namely smoking and just like.
Putting a 20 in a slot just because.
Nah,
Okay,
I never play slots. I'm so unlucky at them.
I don't like slots either.
Real quick, not who exactly, but what armies do you figure in top 8?
Whatever Brandon Garrett's playing. Whatever Brett Perkins is
What,
playing.
okay, what factions?
Sean Naden.
I
I think
yeah,
Brett's.
Sean
I think Brett's. I think he's going chaos.
Yeah, I see the top 8 being a decent spread. I think there'll be a Death Guard. I think there'll be demons.
Okay.
I think there'll be I think there'll definitely be IG.
Just
of
one of
some
each.
type. And I definitely think that there will be either a BA/DA mix or one or both.
Okay. So yeah, that's a.
I don't envision there being Gilliman. I don't
What
think
about,
Knights. I don't think Admech. I don't think.
Tyranids? Maybe
We might
Jeff
get
could
in it.
be,
Yeah,
like,
I bet
one.
Jeff. Andrew's list is good.
Okay.
I don't know if it has the wheels to make it through all the rounds.
I don't think Andrew's list does because I think his relies on surprise.
Right. I also think that Andrew's list also caves to 80 cultists, 100 boys,
Sure.
and especially cultists
Yeah,
because it's
'cause
like,
he- 'cause
I'm
he
taking
played
mortal
against,
wounds. Let me just bring them right back.
I could see an orc making it.
Yeah,
I don't think orcs win, but I could, the whole thing. But I could see it. Yeah, I think Tyranid is cracking top 8 axis. Yeah, I think that Tyranid could crack top 8. So for 8 armies, that's too many fingers. Thank God. Thank
This
God.
is
I'm not
on
on,
that
thank
t-shirt.
God. There's no camera on me. So I'm saying.
Aren't you an accounting major? At what?
I was a counting major with economics as a minor. Yes, I can count. I just can't hold up my fingers. I think that Death Guard,
Yeah. I guess it matters.
Demons, a regular chaos.
Okay.
Then I think an IG and Tyranids and a BADA.
That doesn't leave a lot of room. That's
There's not a lot of
basically.
wiggle room. Two more, like maybe an Eldar.
I think Eldar's going to be. Eldar's always in there.
I think Eldar's going to be.
Yeah, I don't think you ever count out Eldar.
Maybe an Orc,
Fury.
maybe an Eldar.
think Orc's
I
gonna
think
make
something
it.
that sneaks in. I think there will be a surprise that sneaks in.
No,
There's
there
usually
was,
a
there
surprise
was
that
one.
sneaks in. Last year, a Dark Eldar snuck in.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean that's
it wasn't
yeah,
Dark Eldar primary. Primary
there's
was
still Dark
Eldar, but the Dark Eldar portion was big.
yeah.
And that snuck in there.
No,
Yeah, and there's a lot of Reaver Jedi.
Yes.
I think it'll be. I'm not as optimistic. I think it'll be heavily skewed towards Chaos, Eldar, / Yanari, and then there'll be a couple of surprises. I think a Tyranid army could crack. Because Tyranids are pretty darn good, especially because there's a couple of really great players who play Tyranids. So
Yes.
And now that they have, like Jeff Robinson's a great player.
Yeah.
Their 7th edition codex wasn't exactly friendly. So now that he's got a codex that's got a little more horsepower behind it, I think he can do really well.
It's got
I
more
think
legs for sure.
I think an orc player. I agree with John. Actually, I think an orc player can sneak in if it's weird boy spam with boy spam, right?
Yes,
Like I
both
just think
those. It has to be that build.
I think most top tier armies and really competitive armies really struggle.
It's
to
not
kill.
going to be like Mega Knobs and Wagons.
Yeah.
There's going to be tons of boys and tons of weird boys.
Yeah, because I see like Magnus or Morty, or even if you're just taking one or something like that, like or people IG with Shadow Swords, like what do you do against 160 T4 models that
I'm
also
not
have a
convinced
6-up
the
feel no
Rick and
pain?
Morty list makes it.
I
No,
don't
no,
know. Like
Every-
I said,
I
I'm
think-
doing
I
the
think-
Shadow Sword in every one of my Imperial lists.
I think that a list with Magnus or a list with
Morty.
Morty can make it. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
think the Rick and Morty gets in.
No, it's
I think that that's the type of list that a lot of mid-tier players will take, and it's going to give a lot of mid-tier players like fits.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it makes it to the top 8.
No, I think it's well. The problem is it's just too
We're all
easily
going to be
countered.
Crow, and like 4 of the tables are going to be Rick and Morty.
And then we're Necro. I don't think so, right?
I think eventually they'll probably start playing against each other.
Yeah.
Yes,
Start
for sure.
eliminating each other, and then by the time it gets to game 5 and 6, they're just going to be playing against top players. So.
Yeah, I predict 6 GKs, a Kron, and a Tau, bottom 8. These would be more Tau there, buddy.
Well, there's only one Tau
The
player.
end of 5th edition?
Yeah.
We're talking about?
I said bottom 8.
Oh, bottom 8. Okay. I didn't catch that
bottom
part.
8, yeah,
Yes,
bottom
I would say probably
More Tau.
every single Tau player is there.
No.
Actually,
Plus-
we're not saying 0 Primarchs. We're saying 0 Mags and Morty combo. In
Yes.
the army.
I think
But he's
AMAX
saying he can believe
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
Okay.
I wouldn't be shocked, right? Like, I mean, it's just the reality. Like, Magnus,
I
like,
wouldn't be shocked if
If-
Gilliman doesn't make it. I mean, it's
You know
good,
what?
but
After
it's
playing against
mid-tier
it,
good.
you know what? After playing against it, it's showing its age. I
Yeah,
think.
5 months into the edition.
Yeah.
5 months past the codex.
Oh,
I don't know. I think something like Darian's Gilliman list could make it because it has so much freaking punch, but I don't think it could necessarily win.
No.
Right? I think there's too many matchups now that,
I
especially
think-
with
I
a really
think
competent
Gilliman
player.
list piloted well has as much chance as that Orc list piloted well of making it to the top 8.
Right.
Yeah,
it can
it's
do
the
it,
same
but
zero Primarchs making it.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I could see that. I mean,
can see
I don't
it.
think that's an outside
Everybody
chance.
does prepare for them. Everybody has an answer for them. Or if you don't have an answer for them, you're just playing for funsies anyways.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's.
whatever.
I mean,
Like if you haven't planned to kill a Magnus and a Mortarian
Right.
or a Mortarian, then you're not ready for this.
right.
If you can't kill a Primarch, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, what's your list doing? Legitimately.
No, I mean, it goes back to like the questions of, I think you can replace with how does, the questions of, is my list good? How does it beat X, Y, Z? You replace, how does my list deal with knights with, how does my list deal with Primarchs?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, Demon Primarch specifically.
Yeah. Because
Killing Guilliman's not hard.
No.
And whichever next Loyalist Primarch comes next, which I hope to God is like a...
wolfed out version
like
of
a
Russ.
like a wolfen version of Russ.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Even that one isn't going to be as hard to kill as the Demon Primarchs.
Yeah,
the Demon Primarchs are going to be just plain better.
Well, that's also because
Osway,
they're all going to be march-based models. They have to be.
When I played Osway, I just ignored Guilliman.
Yeah.
I didn't even try.
Yeah. That's I think in all the games that I lost to BAO, which there were plenty of them, Guilliman only died at the very ends. Because they just ignored him all game. Why go after him? There's no point.
Yeah. Yeah, for me,
Yeah, Wolf and Russ would be a sick model. Yes.
Or really silly, depending how they did it.
now that thought's in there.
Crap.
I'm just saying, that's a thin line, man. Like that.
Danny, you always got to rain on my parade.
I do. That's what I do.
Well, in which case, I just use the Forge World one.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Because that model's cool.
So
Forge World Russ is good looking.
Yeah.
I'll say Chaos. I say Demons, Chaos, Guard. I
I can see Guard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna sneak in.
Yannari. I'm gonna say Yannari specifically.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe our boy Jeff.
I think Tyranids. Yeah,
Jeff can do it.
Yeah.
Jeff's a good player.
Tyranids, but I think that's what.
But he stopped
5.
watching the show, so.
No, never mind. And he won't listen back to this when we put it up.
I think you're gonna have. I want to say 2 Chaos lists. 2 Chaos Space Marine lists.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm thinking, two CSM lists of some type. Or are you discounting? Are you saying Death Guard is separate from that?
I don't
list
think Death
too?
Guard's gonna make it.
You don't think a Death Guard list makes it?
Most of the Death
With
Guard I've
Poxwalkers?
seen.
I'm not saying it's going to be Plague Marines. I'm saying
No, but even then, the ones we've seen they're going heavily. The lists we've seen anyway have gone heavy. The Plague Burst Crawlers. Paul's list is good, but I don't know. But most of the players I'm seeing aren't taking like some like a lot of Poxwalkers.
right.
Which
Maybe.
I think the list that Carlos was running up until a couple of months ago with the Poxwalkers would do it.
Oh, the one he
The one he won the GT with.
But he's changed that list. So.
No, I know he has, but I think a list like that could get there.
Boxwalker again. I go back to Chaff Edition, right?
Yes.
How many Fire Raptors are we gonna see?
None.
In the top 8.
I say none.
Nah, I say.
I think it's going to be
one.
another one of those things where everybody in the middle hates it. The average player hates it. They hate the idea of the Fire Raptor being that cheap. They hate how much firepower it has. But ultimately, it won't make a dent in the top 24. Like, it's just, you're going to get up there, and
I think you're going to
It's
see
not
a
gonna matter.
list with 2.
in the top 8. Or the top 16.
Top 16.
Top
maybe.
16.
Yeah.
Top 16, fine. But it's not making it through. I don't think so.
You don't think so? I mean, I only have one, so. Walker
Oh, yeah.
spam. Yes, it is annoying. I've played against it. Pre Death Guard. Which
Yeah.
list?
Oh, yeah, Walker's moving.
Poxwalker spam. Oh my god.
Time to just do Poxwalker spam plus Playcrawler spam.
That's
I
what
think
Paul
it's-
does.
Yeah, it's good.
But Paul's only got 3 play crawlers.
Okay, yeah, you need.
Yeah,
you need
Don
triple
has
that.
like
Don's got like 10.
He's one of the 10 with demon.
There
Princes.
is that crazy list with the Forge World Hellhounds.
Oh, the cheaper
Oh.
version.
Yeah, the cheaper version with the better gun.
Yes.
Not sure it does it, but that's going to be a big spoiler.
Yeah.
I could see a couple of people running into that who think, whatever, it's just Hellhounds, I can deal with
Yeah,
that.
but
Who
when
haven't
there's-
actually seen it and been against it,
Yeah.
that it might cause problems for them.
I'm just looking. Anything you're looking forward to in general for the LVO? Just meeting all the people, judging people.
Seeing people that I only get to see at LVO.
I
Like, I'm going to
seeing,
get to see, like, Ben Schmoller.
Oh, right.
I'm going to see Matt Root. Well, he's helping us judge.
He's helping us judge.
But these are guys I only run into really once a year.
No.
So
I'm looking forward to the convergence of the different metas.
Yeah. That's
Because
really
you
fun
see a
to
lot of
watch.
stuff that you don't even think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, for me, it's all about the people.
what about you? What do you look forward to? Getting away from your kid.
Sleep, yeah.
Yeah,
Sleep.
No, I mean, I'm gonna, yeah. I mean, I'll miss my kid. I did last year, but like, I'm looking forward
That
to
doesn't
sleep.
last very long.
I'm looking forward to a lot of freaking sleep.
My
Oh,
God.
steak. Yeah, I'm looking forward to carne vino.
Steak. Yeah,
What
I'm
else?
bummed I can't get there for that.
Yeah. No, and actually, my favorite part is just seeing all the armies and seeing the hobby in kind
That's
of full
cool too,
display
yes.
of like, just
As long as you're not pulling your models apart at the torso.
Don't forget to get there early on Friday if you want your army judged for painting.
yeah, yes,
Look
be
at the
there
packet. The
early.
packet says what
And,
time.
and I'm going to say it. Only come for paint judging if you have a chance.
Wow.
Ow. Okay, John said that, not us.
Wow.
If you're
I'm not salty at all.
if you're showing up with an army that you spray painted red and threw some wash on,
I'm not
and then
salty at all.
highlighted,
I don't know why
and then
everybody calls me
added some
salty
silver
John.
dots and based it with some sand, please don't show up. Come on, we saw that army last year.
We did.
We saw
did.
multiples of those last year paint judging.
I know.
The army that's primered, washed, bolt gun picked out, and then based.
Well, to be fair,
What do you want from
A
me?
for effort.
to defend those folks, a lot of
D
them
for
I
degree.
think thought that they got
just said
some
A
kind
for
of
effort.
bonus points,
Oh,
and they're
okay.
also like people going for Renaissance Man, right? And to get Renaissance Man, you actually have to have a paint score.
But you
right?
actually have to have a well-painted army to get Renaissance Man.
Well, I'm not.
I
They
can-
were my thinking like, well, I'm going to win so much,
Right.
it'll be great. Blah blah blah.
I can see people showing up thinking that they needed it for extra points. You're right. I can see that.
Right.
I hadn't thought about that.
I mean, but yeah, it's just. I mean, it's one of those things.
I might just hate it so much because last year I was running to the bathroom to throw up every 20 minutes.
probably
Could be that.
Well, no,
Could also
like
be because you're a jerk.
paint judging's hard. Just, I mean, the hardest part for me doing it because I went through every army that was up there.
I did
And
too. I
scored
looked at
them.
every army.
Yeah, I mean, it was just having the.
Chris did too, right?
Yeah, there were a
Yeah,
couple of us.
Chris
We always did a
Because
couple different
Travis
rounds.
was
yeah.
running the table,
Yeah,
getting people logged in.
Yeah, we were.
And the
yeah,
four
it
of
was-
us ran around doing
it was just what really killed me wasn't the actual going through it. It was the end when scores were announced and people were like, "Well, why did I get this?" And being like, "I don't have a
I have
photographic
no
memory of your
fucking
freaking army."
clue
Okay,
why you got that? I'm sorry. If you're not like one of the top 4 scorers, I probably won't remember your
I
army.
think. Don't quote me on this, but are we gonna have? I think we'll have a rubric.
We always have the rubric, yeah, but like
No, there's a rubric that we follow.
yeah, but we don't fill out the rubric for each person. We use the
Right.
rubric to give a score for each
Right,
person.
right.
So it's not like you can ask us for your rubric back.
right.
There's just too many armies, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it's also
Well,
like, let's just be
I mean,
realistic.
there's not going to be 500, but there's going to be a fair amount of.
There's going to be
armies,
over
yeah.
100. There's going to be over
Oh,
100
yeah.
people that we have to judge, and we have to do it within like a couple hours.
Will
Yeah.
we be recording the drive over there? We can, I guess.
Let me get my selfie stick out. We can Facebook Live the trip.
Fucking hate
Woo!
selfie sticks so
I
much.
don't even own one. But
You're such a liar. You know you have.
I don't. Natalie has
Natalie-
one.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, the wife does, not you.
I don't know.
Yeah, I could.
We can. We're gonna actually be riding with another podcaster.
So see,
Okay.
there you go.
Maybe.
We'll
Why
see.
did
You
you
never
get
know.
that score? Because the numbers added up that way?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just to speak to John's point. Just,
That man is my spirit animal.
He doesn't matter.
Do we know
Yeah.
Mr. Inquisitor in real life?
I hope we do. I think he's in the UK.
if not,
Are you coming to LVO, Mr. Inquisitor?
No, that's the one that's missing because of the death of the time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Damn it.
yeah. Otherwise, I'm gonna buy you a drink. Sir.
I would, yes,
Buy
for
a virtual
sure.
drink.
And it
No.
would have to be a tequila shot so we have salt.
Yeah. Although, to defend John's point briefly, it's just kind of true. If you know your paint quality is not what Israel can do, right? Don't
What?
even try.
What if they
Right,
want to
like-
know what
Yeah.
they need to work on?
Then ask.
This isn't the event for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you take your specific army to one of the paint judges for one of the painting competitions.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
the giant 500 person competition. You take it to one of the paint judges for that, and you take them on from here. Or go ask Goat Boy. He's the nicest guy.
Hmm?
He's usually, I don't know if he's going to be there this year, but he's usually there. I've taken him models before. We're like, hey, what do you think of this? Before he even like knew me, before we were friends, right? Yeah, what do you think of this? Oh yeah, and he'd give me pointers, and he's really nice about it. And he gives you quick off the top of his head. Okay, so this, and this. If you want to get better at it, you've got to do those things.
Right.
Like, go to somebody who knows what they're doing, who's really into that.
So don't ask me.
It's not even don't ask us, but like we're gonna
No,
be
I
doing
said
so
me
much
per-
other
me
stuff.
personally.
Well, definitely.
We're
Generally
doing
don't ask
so
Adam
many
anything.
other things.
Oh God. we're
Like,
so busy.
yeah, it's not feasible.
Especially that
for,
first day, yeah.
It's
That
not
first day.
feasible for your score for overall LVO champs painting to be something that you use to improve yourself.
Right.
Like you need, if you want to improve it, you got to go to somebody like specifically for that.
Probably going to be too busy to stream, but we could try to do some Facebook Live stuff.
We can do Facebook Live, like between rounds or
You know, I
something.
thought about it last year, but honestly, in between rounds, like I just want to sit.
Yeah, well, we can
Well,
sit
we
down
can do
and
that. We can just
Just sit with
Sit.
exhausted looks on our face.
yes.
The
Me in
phone
the
sitting on the
background
table.
smoking.
Sticking
Yes.
our bellies out.
Yeah, just stuffing my face
Dying.
with whatever I can.
It's actually, I'm not going to say like it's hard to do it.
No, it's
judging is not easy.
I'll put it this way: unless you're like Viejo over here, who never gets up, you like you
We're gonna get
walk,
him a motorized
yeah,
wheelchair.
you
so we have
walk
to go to some
about
of the tables.
you walk about 8 to 10 miles
shooter.
minimum, judging.
You rascal.
John, we're hoping the same thing. We're
Yeah.
hoping that because this is 8th and it's simpler, that it will be easier.
But we're still gonna. It's gonna be the
numbers.
interpersonal. It's
Yeah.
the numbers, and it's just the fact is there's always gonna be interpersonal conflict that people need a mediator for.
Yeah, there are always
Right.
some people in a tournament this large. There are times where it's not even a rules issue; it's literally a person issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These two people cannot get along,
Right.
and it's the end of the game. And one of them really wants to jump across the table with the other one, and it's up to you to kindly, in some ways, remind them that they're adults and they need to behave like it.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll try. I mean, we can try and do some Facebook Live stuff just to, be like, hey, especially if we can, some of the more important parts or points.
I'm just
but,
gonna walk over to the FLG stream and just put my head in the camera all the time. with the rulebook, be like, hey, how's it going over here, guys?
We'll Facebook Live at all the judge requests, so people be nice.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. It's like, all right, here we go. So our first babysitting game of the day. So hey guys, why don't you explain to me why I have to waste 2 hours of my life by sitting here watching the game?
We're gonna see exactly why. All right, go. Yeah. He knocked my model back a millimeter, and it cost me the game.
Yeah, that's an actual.
That has actually, Oh my God.
I feel like he knows us.
Yeah.
I feel like Mr.
He said he's
Glitter
from
knows.
the East Coast.
Right.
He's your East Coast spirit animal.
I don't have one of those.
Anyway, yeah. So
Nobody from the East Coast.
we can try to do stuff like that. I mean, honestly, we're usually just busy right now because there's
Yeah.
more than a few tournaments that we have to help with besides the main champs,
Well,
right?
Friday would be just champs.
Yes.
And once we hit Saturday, Sunday, then it's the gladiator,
The RTTs, the
Sunday
team.
RTTs.
And Sunday you guys are on your own. I'm not there.
Yeah.
John is a flake.
I'm not a flake. I'm contractually obligated to be at work on Sunday.
Whatever.
Yeah.
No one's the boss of you.
Don't. Who's the boss? Me, my boss who pays me my money. That's who's the boss of me.
Damn right. Yeah. So maybe we'll Facebook Live
We can probably do Friday.
the Friday night event. Us at the
We
bar.
could Facebook Live the Friday night.
No. I can't Facebook Live drinking.
Little drunk Facebook Live.
Can't do that.
I
Can't
don't know. That
I don't
seems
know.
like.
I could.
Oh, he judged at Adepticon for fantasy. Oof.
Oh, there you go.
Judging
Ooh.
fantasy, man.
Never
Talk
mind.
about arguments.
You
Wow.
understand better than we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, doesn't matter what edition.
I take back my comment about East Coasters.
I love fantasy. I love the crap out of fantasy, but damn, that game led to nothing but arguments half the time. Even between with my friends. When I play like Chris, we'd still at some point end up in like, but that's not how it works. Yes, it is. No, but
And another,
I love that game.
In another episode of John Makes Other People Salty, but it's a salty himself. Do you remember our epic game with my corn demons?
Oh, God,
and your
yeah.
vampire accounts?
Yeah, that was just like, what the
He was so salty, and I was just like derping around, like, oh, I don't really know I'm doing this. Cool. Okay, so this guy's gonna kill. Okay, so I killed the dragon mount, and then your vampire account guy, and now all your skeletons are melting, right? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Did I win?
yes.
Danny was pissed.
Especially because that was, probably the best I've ever been at a game. It was
Right.
like 7th edition fantasy, or
Yeah.
I think I went over the course of the edition somewhere in the realm of 200 to like low teens.
Right.
Right. And when it was pretty much every event we went to was either me, Chris, or Brandon winning.
Yeah.
right? Like, just that was it.
Oh yeah,
It's
I
always
made the
competition.
entire league we were playing in Salty because I made it to the finals.
Yeah.
and it was my first 8 games of fantasy ever.
Yeah,
The
that
finals
was such a
only
good
8
list.
games.
And the
yeah.
finals.
The league was only 8 games.
It was
Yeah.
no, it might have been like 12.
Yeah, it was a long.
But yeah, I made it to the finals against Chris, who tooled his list specifically to beat me.
Right. Well, that's
Because
what you
there was
had to
no
do.
way
Yeah.
you guys could have lived with me winning the entire thing.
No. But I love my vampire army. Man, that was such bullshit, but I love that army.
That army was
So since we're
bullshit.
talking about dead games now,
Yeah, we are.
I think we're gonna call it.
Cool.
R.I.P., buddy. Right. I'll see you at the crossroads.
I know. Sorry about all the coffee, and I'm still getting over the cold.
He's dying.
You know, I'm dying, aren't we all? But we'll see everybody at LVO next week.
Yeah.
Make sure you come Friday night.
Yep.
I guess we'll live stream, Facebook Live something.
Yeah.
Sure.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure
Yeah,
something
it'll
out.
probably be like the floor.
Us
or something.
passed out in the.
Have it on by mistake.
We should do that. Like every time one of the judges sneaks off to like take a nap, we should just like
Facebook Live.
it.
I'll just Facebook Live me on my union breaks.
Yes.
There we go.
It's like, here I am, hard at work.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Paul.
Hey, yeah.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.
So we'll see a lot of you live next week.
Yes.
If not, we'll probably do a show
we come
fairly
back.
quickly after we come back.
Sure.
Maybe the Tuesday, possibly. Only because I do have to work. I think 4 to midnight that week we come back.
Oh God. Okay.
So we may have to do an early, quick show, quick turnaround on that show.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
But we'll see. If not at LVO, we see you in a couple weeks on the next Twitch show.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. See you
Great
guys
night,
later.
everybody.